All right, we're live uh, on the YouTube channel. Just want to welcome my brother, attorney here in Oakland as well. One of the best workers' comp attorneys in the state of California. He's got the largest Black workers' comp attorney law firm in the state of California. We want to introduce Fletcher Brown to the show. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Thankful for the opportunity to give my perspective.
And so why we're here is that I was in Dorian from Group82's live stream tonight. He was talking about college, and I was making comments, and Dorian was referring to my comments. And Fletcher's texting me like, hey, you're in Dorian's chat. And so I was like, you know what? Instead of hopping on the phone with you afterwards, let's just hop on the stream and let's discuss this. So what were your thoughts on the show? And how did you know that I was on there?
Oh, you know what? I was on YouTube and I was just kind of going through my scroll, and then because I follow him, it popped up live. So I just said, oh, let me click in here. And I clicked in there, and then I saw you making comments in the comment section. Borderline trolling, but I think that's authentically your perspective. And so then that's when I just started to text you to the side.
Well, let me give some more background. So earlier in the day, Dorian released a video that had a Mark Cuban quote about colleges and college graduates, and then Dorian had his commentary. And then tonight he had a live. And so my point is to Dorian was that I agree that colleges are overpriced, but I think a lot of 18 and 19-year-olds need college. And it creates a situation where when they graduate, they're going to have a baseline fundamentals, all things being equal. And what they do with that degree is a personal choice. And I think that they're better off. The average 18-year-old is better off going to college than trying to figure things out all by themselves. What were your thoughts, Fletch?
I think, and I agree with Dorian from the standpoint of it's not, I don't think that every kid needs to be going to college. I think that people, I think that it's the safe route, you know what I mean? And I think that that's kind of the consensus on college in general is it's the safe route. I think what Dorian was basically saying is, hey, you don't need it. After you go to college, you're probably going to make X amount of money. The internet is here. The internet's here at scale. You can bypass college, and if you apply yourself to different things online, you can make that money now, and you don't need to go to college. And I saw you in the comments, and you were basically saying that you didn't think that was true.
Right. I mean, I didn't, I read a lot of conversations between my clients and their landlords or property management. And on both ends of the conversation, oftentimes you see people who can't read and write at the core of it. And I'm not talking literal, but I'm talking about read and write at a high level so that their communication is clear and they can clearly express themselves, and that they're understanding what's being written back to them. And in my opinion, college improves that, and people that do obtain that 4-year degree typically have that baseline. Is it necessary? No. Can you figure it out on your own? For sure. You can figure it out on your own and you can do your own reading and you can be self-taught. But the reality is, for most people, myself included, people benefit from a higher level of structure and a larger institution holding them accountable.
And you're saying benefit even post college?
Yeah, because I mean, like for instance, like Dorian, who I like his content, Dorian often says like, I like looked this up, I reverse engineered it, I researched it, I listened to doing all this. That's basically studying. That's a skill that he either learned in high school, and probably perfected in college. Now he may not consciously be aware of that, but not everyone has that skill. I mean, there's people in his chat asking him, how do you start a podcast? Like, why would you ask someone that question when you can just Google it and do your own research? You can just YouTube that and you're going to get a bunch of videos of people explaining how to start a podcast, and you're going to be able to consume a lot more thorough answer than Dorian would be able to provide in a Facebook Live, where you're one question of probably hundreds he's getting in the live.
Okay, well then what about the kids that don't excel in college? You're saying those kids should still go to college?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If you go and you don't excel, that's different than not going at all.
Okay.
No,
but if you're not okay, but if you're not excelling or if you're struggling in high school, you're probably still going to struggle in college.
No, because I think college you can structure the things you want to study. I mean, you have a lot more broader curriculum that you can essentially take in. You're not limited to the subjects that your high school picks for you or whatever your high school picks. Like, for instance, when I was in high school, I wasn't a great student, but I knew that I got my best grades in business classes. And then when I went to San Jose State, I majored in business, and a lot of the classes I excelled in high school, I did really well in at San Jose State because I enjoyed them. Like, for instance, I hated biology. If I had to take biology in college, it would have been a struggle. I didn't enjoy that, right? So I only had to take one science class to basically get my 4-year degree. So I think maybe one or two. I remember one, but you understand the point. Where in high school, I had to take 3 or 4 just to graduate from high school.
Here's my point. I think college definitely has its benefits. I think everything comes back down to the person. And I know that that's kind of like an answer, no answer. But I think it always comes back down to the person and really just talent. And I've always kind of said this, and I think Dorian was kind of going towards that too, where it's like you're either talented enough to do this, because you don't need to know how to read and write to be successful in terms of e-commerce and internet. Does it help? Yeah, it helps, but there's a lot more that kind of goes into this. And go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
So my main point is, I think it comes back down to self-awareness and talent. And I think that there's going to be some people who you put the camera on them, people just want to watch them. You take, they can post photos, pictures. People want to look at those photos and those pictures, and people are going to be willing to pay them for that. But the reality is that our society isn't set up where when you start growing up, people are telling you, hey, you know what, be self-aware, really explore yourself, really figure out, what makes you different and celebrate those differences. We don't really have that kind of society. Because we don't, you have a lot of 16, 17, 18-year-olds like, what do I do? And the common, consensus is go to college. And, and I think that's going to work for some people, but is that going to work for the masses? No. I mean, the numbers are in. You go to college, you get a job. For the most part, you're going to make average to below average money. I mean, these jobs, coming out of school, you're going to make average to below average money. So my point is, that's what it is. So if you can make more money than that without going to college, the numbers are in. I mean, yeah, like if you could be, and I don't know if DJ academics went to college or not, but if you can be a DJ academics, go and be a DJ academics. But only time is gonna tell you.
Right, but see, I guess that's the problem with the advice is that what you and Dorian are saying applies to basically the exceptions. You're like, go ahead and be LeBron, go ahead and be Kobe, go be Luka. It's like, dog, like, I mean, or even go be Isaiah. Oh, you're only 5'9", you could be Isaiah Thomas or Nate Robertson. I was like, wait, there's only a handful of those. So DJ Academics has talent. Those people have talent, but I'm talking on the bell curve in the middle people. And so the reality is that most life is a competition, and most 18 and 19-year-olds can't compete with most adults. Now there may be the exceptions, but most 18 and 19-year-olds still need some more seasoning and more training and just more life experience.
Let me say this. Let me just drop this first piece of game in here at 12:05 into the live stream. And you kind of touched on it because you started talking about playing in the middle. Life, money, success, everything that people want in life is on the edges. And the edges meaning on or at the extremes. If you want to be the best lawyer, you want to be the best student, you're going to have to just do extreme things to get those types of results. And I think Dorian, to a certain degree, I think he makes it sound easy, but he's definitely on the extreme in terms of the type of work and the type of investment he's put into his brand. And I don't think that people truly understand what it means to be at the extremes. People think that you can go to college and do average in college and get extraordinary results, and the reality is that you can, period. So you're either going to have to choose a hard major and go down that road, you're going to have to do really well in college and go down that road. When you get into business, same thing. It's like you can't, if I'm going to build a firm, I can't do what everybody else is doing. I can't do what everyone in the middle is doing, because if you are in the middle, you are going to get killed, especially now with the internet. And the problem with Dorian's advice was, he was just like, hey, you don't have to go to college, just come over here and start a business. And the reality is yes, start a business, but you got to be out here and you got to be ready to compete. And to compete means you cannot be in the middle, because if you're in the middle, you will get killed. Period.
All right, but let's just bring it back to the college thing. I just don't think that one of the things that Dorian said was like, I could teach someone to make $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month and doing online marketing, whatever. But everyone can't do online marketing. You know what I mean? And so, what up, TP? Everyone can't do online marketing. And so if they can't do online marketing, then it's like they might as well be better off being in school.
Well, I mean, I think, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I think, I mean, there's more to online. There's more to making money off the internet than just online marketing. I think he was just throwing that out there as an example.
Right.
So I think that was just kind of an example. Now, I think he is right though. If you put 4 years of work into something online, there's and you're actually working. At the end of those 4 years, you're going to see some results. Good things are going to start to happen. Period.
Right.
And you don't need 4 years.
All right.
Let me say this because I don't want to go deep into this, but I've actually revamped my brand, my firm.
No, let's just talk about school. Let's just talk about school. So I just wanted to say that generally speaking, because like for instance, I remember having this conversation with you and TP, and you were like, well, it was like whether or not going to Harvard and paying $60,000 a year was worth it, or going to Harvard Law School and paying $60,000 a year was worth it, or going to Santa Clara paying $60,000 or Northwestern, whatever the situation may be. And you guys were pro debt and pro school. What's the difference here? What's changed?
Because here's the thing. Again, it gets back down to what's a commodity and what's not. Are you playing in the middle, or are you playing on the edges? Are you playing in the middle, or are you playing on the edges? If you're playing on the edges, top school, Harvard, et cetera, yeah, that don't matter. It doesn't matter. Now, if you can't leverage, some of this, if you can't really get out here and hustle it and leverage it, then that's kind of on you. But again, it's are you playing in the middle, or are you playing on the edges? And too many people are playing in the middle. And if you think that, I went to Cal State Long Beach for college. If I thought that a political science degree from Cal State Long Beach was going to, automatically give me some kind of magical job career where I'm making all this money, nah, man, it's a commoditized degree. And I loved my experience there. But the only thing that I have from Cal State Long Beach that's great really comes back down to my fraternity, relationships, things that you can't necessarily just go out and just buy. And it's things that are unique to me. Again, it gets back down to the edges. Everything that's in the middle, no one really cares about. And that's the point you is, that's what it is.
Yeah, but Fletcher, I remember obviously you at 18, 19, and at the time you wanted to start, let me tell the viewers. So one of Fletcher's friends' uncles ran like this electronic distributor company where he basically was like the middleman between people that needed computer hardware and the manufacturers. And like Fletcher went over there, we'd both kind of hang out at his business, and you thought you can do the same thing. Now, do you think that if you had dropped out of Long Beach State and took up that business, you would be in a better position than where you are now?
Was I talking about dropping out to go and do that though?
Hold on a second. You thought about doing it, but the only way you would have been able to do it is to do it full time, because you wouldn't have been able to do a business like that part time.
I personally think, and this, I don't want this to kind of sound arrogant, but I think any business I kind of get into, for the most part, I'm going to make work. That's just me. And I'm going to be able to kind of get out here and hustle, get into the trenches, figure out what the nuances are. All right, boom, boom, boom. Now, I may have gotten into a business, and maybe 3 or 4 years later, I'm in a completely different business because I'm able to adjust. But again, this is why it gets back down to talent.
Right, but Fletcher, but you can't give advice, general advice, without knowing whether the person you're talking to is talented. So the advice that I would give someone that is talented is not going to be the same advice I'm going to give to the masses, because it's not going to apply.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you're right. I mean, and that's why you've got to be careful with general advice. I mean, you're right. But
that's what we're talking about. I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Well, what I'm trying to say though is, I'm saying if you take a general approach to life, you're going to get general results. And what I'm trying to say is, you have to. The general advice is you have to kind of figure out where the nuances are, and you got to get out the middle.
Right. But Fletcher, but the middle. So you're talking about the extremes, but you're not talking about the other end of the extreme. The middle is, people win in the middle all the time. So to act like people aren't winning in the middle is a misnomer.
Okay, who's winning in the middle?
I think you're winning in the middle. You like you weren't on the extreme of anything academically.
I graduated honors at Cal State Long Beach.
Dog, what was your LSAT score? That's what I'm talking. You don't got to share your LSAT score, but my point is like, you weren't in the extreme category of the LSAT score.
But tell the whole story.
Hold on a sec. We can tell the whole story if you want, but my point is that like you weren't on the extreme bell curve when your competition increased. When you were at Northwestern for law school, were you in the top 10%?
No.
So that's all I'm saying though, Fletcher, is that being in the middle
mm-hmm.
got you through.
No, babe, that's not true. When I was at Cal State Long Beach, I graduated with honors. I was a part of a fraternity, so I was deep in that game, right?
But what was your LSAT score?
My LSAT score was in the middle, but B.
No, it wasn't in the middle, man.
Okay, well, it was at the bottom, whatever you want to call it, the bottom. But B, my GPA was in the top. So whenever you apply,
but Fletcher, but my point is that the objective test, the test that everybody has to take, that's not dependent on the talent around you.
Mm-hmm.
You were in the middle, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to act like you need to be on the extreme end to kind of get by is, I think, inaccurate.
No, but you know that. But B, tell the whole story though, B. I got into numerous top schools in the country. You don't get into the best schools in the world being in the middle by definition, right?
All right.
Even when I was at Northwestern, when I was at Northwestern, yeah, I might have had the worst grades in my class, maybe. But like when you're playing on North Carolina's basketball team, you're still on North Carolina's basketball team.
Okay, I disagree.
When you make it to the NBA, you don't need to be LeBron. You're still in the NBA.
Okay.
So you still have that brand that you're so you're not in the middle. Now, let me say this too. This is 24 minutes in. Let me give this to this little nugget of game. A lot of people don't know how to sell themselves not being in the middle.
No, we're talking about Fletcher. I'm going to take it back to college because we're not talking about you. Bring it home to the topic, please.
No, but the point right now is I'm making the point about being a commodity and being in the middle, and I'm saying you got to play on the edges. And you're saying no, Fletcher, you were in the middle, and I'm like, nah, man, I was on the edges. And so sometimes it's a perspective game because you're kind of like, no, man, you're average, and I'm like, B, I was at the top 10 school in the country. What are you talking about? As long as I get the damn degree, I still have a degree from a top 10 school in the country. And honestly, I don't even really push that. A lot of people don't even know until they know. So my point is, again, I've been on the edges. I'm always selling success.
No, but again, that doesn't
You know that.
take it back to no, but that doesn't take it back to college. But the college situation, you can't like someone going to Cal State Long Beach is not on the edge. You're going to you're not you're in the middle. You're with there's nothing. You wouldn't be considered quote unquote the talented 10th if you believe that. It's like,
but what did you? But the question is, here's the question is this: what did you do when you were at Cal State Long Beach? Me personally,
but iron shopper is iron. Like, it's like someone that like plays at a mid-major or a low D1 that leads their team in scoring. It's like, yeah, you're getting 20 points a game, but you're playing in the WAC. Like, let's see if you can get that 20 points a game in the Pac-12. And so, like, but my point though simply is that most people that are going to college aren't going to Ivy League schools or the elite public universities in their state. They're just going to an ordinary college. And what your advice to them would be to, like, even though everything about them says that they're ordinary, your advice to them would be to take steps that the super talented and the extraordinary do. So, like, I think that's terrible advice, and that's why I disagreed with it originally with Dorian.
But okay, so do you consider me super talented for graduating with honors from Cal State Long Beach?
No.
Why?
There was, and I'm going to say this with like, I want to say this with all due respect. There are people like up the freeway that at least through the objective measure had better test scores than you. Like, you didn't even have a better SAT than me. So okay. All
right, let me say this, and this is gonna I think create some value for the audience. I know someone who went to Cal State Long Beach, stacked up his money, bought some property. Now he's probably a multimillionaire now. So he went to Cal State Long Beach. I don't even know what kind of grades he got. It doesn't matter. But he put himself in position.
Right. But Fletcher, what you're saying is like you're giving advice. We're not talking about college graduates. We're talking about 18-year-olds. You're giving advice to 18-year-olds. Don't be in the middle. If you go to college, you're being in the middle. I remember one time you said you had someone come talk to your class at Northwestern, and the professor was like none of y'all are going to be billionaires because you guys are here. If you were going to be billionaires, you wouldn't be in fucking law school. Excuse my language. You wouldn't be in law school. You would like you'd be out already getting it. You wouldn't just be wasting time in school. When you talk extremes, Fletcher, and when people are using Bill Gates as the example or Mark Zuckerberg as the example, someone going to an 18-year-old going to Cal State Long Beach is kind of in the middle. Even like, you know what I mean? And it's like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, but
there's nothing wrong with that. And clearly You proved that being in the middle, that you did okay.
No, but B, I'm doing okay because I'm not in the middle.
At that point, Fletcher, at that point in your life, you were.
Okay, now you think that everyone at Cal State Long Beach is just in the middle by default?
No. Well, I think if you're going to the way that our society encouraged people to pick schools, I would say that 99% of the people going to Cal State Long Beach are in the middle, and there's nothing wrong with that.
But okay,
that would include me.
You're saying in the middle in that quote unquote academic game.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about college.
No, but not necessarily the life game.
No, but Fletcher, we're talking about college. The whole point of this is like deciding on what you want to do. So for instance, like, who was not in the middle at 18 is your wife, or your wife was not in the middle at 18. She was on the extreme. So giving advice to someone as talented as your wife or your sister-in-law would be different than giving advice to me or you. Now, it's relative. Now, we can look at people that we know that didn't go to college, and we may be viewed as a super talented, but in the college sphere, it's like, no.
So was Mark Cuban in the middle when he went to the Indiana University?
Yeah.
And he started putting together his businesses.
No, Fletcher, but you're talking about. But the question is that what should an 18 or 19-year-old do? Not reassessing the person after they get through the institution, because just because someone like had the high school grades and SAT score at 18 doesn't really define them for the rest of their life. But what I'm talking about is that what type of advice is good for your average 18 and 19-year-old. You often share a stat in all these group chats that 80% of the black males in the state of California aren't at reading level. And essentially you telling that 80% that they shouldn't try to obtain a college degree, that they should try to go do internet hustling is just dumb.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If we had some 18-year-old kid come onto the stream right now, grew up in Oakland, just make it easy.
Stereotype, man. Be better than that.
Just make it easy. And he says, you know what, I've struggled in school, my whole life. I don't think school's for me. I've been rapping. I just dropped my first mixtape. You listen to the mixtape, you think it's a couple songs on there are okay. But say 2 songs out of the 12 are just And he's been bad at school his whole life. You're telling him go to college.
What would be my advice?
Yeah.
I would say take your ass to junior college. And I would say that is because you can still go to junior college and go to college and still be a rapper. Like you can first of all, let me debug this myth. There's 24 hours in the day. So I'm not saying go to college and you need to be grinding to get a 4.0. I'm just saying that there's benefits to that individual going to college to mitigate their risk. Most rappers after their rap career are overwhelmingly rappers after their rap career are broke. And because when you think about most rappers, you got to think about the guys that are selling you CDs at the mall that are trying to get on for years, decades, not necessarily guys that are signed, but even the guys that are signed, like they're not making that much money now. If you turned into Drake or J. Cole or Kendrick, yeah, your advice would be right. But the reality is that I'd say that he's probably gonna be like one of them random cats on the Outlaws that no one can name, that he messing up some of Tupac's better songs. And who knows what those guys are doing? And those guys may be doing well. But
the odds for that kid doing anything in life are like low. I mean, and my issue is a lot of people don't want to really be honest and say that. But he's not transferring anywhere.
Yeah, but see, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that. But what I'm saying though is that if you were to be like, look, you're gonna put your grind into the rap game, or you could put the same energy into your academics. I think that for most people, putting that energy into the academics is going to lead to a better life. In the words of Chris Rock, my neighbor is just a dentist, and I'm Chris Rock.
Yeah, right, but B, here's the thing though, man. If someone has a track record of failure, and then you're basically saying, no, you know what, try harder. My thing, I would just tell them like, look, man, I would probably, grind, be able to do your own beats, your own this, your own that, and just go all in. Because I'm gonna tell them like, look, the chances of you really making it pop off of the academics is low. The chances of you making it pop off of rap is low. But at least if you go down the rap road, maybe you turn into a podcaster, maybe it turns into something else, maybe, but you got to go hard.
See, I think that's terrible. And I think that even when rappers that are making it, like let's say, and you get to open their books, or even singers that make it and you get to open their books, they're doing well, but not as well as people think. And so, and if you go through so the problem is that everybody knows, we both know rappers, that guys that try to get into the rap industry that failed.
Right.
And that extreme, and this is where you always talk about the positive, and you leave the other side out, because when you fail and you go all in and you don't pop and you don't get signed, and maybe you weren't that talented, maybe your flow was that nice, maybe you had no beat selection, whatever, you have nothing tangible to show for it. Whereas if you go through school, very few people that, for instance, very few of your line brothers in your frat are doing quote unquote bad. Like, they went through school, they may not all be balling, but they're living a pretty good middle class life.
Okay, let me say this.
One more thing before you get that comment. And even someone like Nipsey, who is Grammy nominated, who owns his own publishing, at the time of his death, his estate was worth like $1.1 million. And that's a lot of money for someone who's 32, 33. But it's not as much money as was being projected in the videos, or I thought that he would have had, given his business acumen. So my point to you is that most guys ain't Nip. They ain't never gonna be Nipsey. They're never gonna have his level of success. And if Nipsey only had $1 million to his name, basically, then like, what do you think that Joe Blow signed to the local independent label is gonna do?
No, but B, my point is this: what's the alternative for some 18-year-old kid who basically fell out of school? I mean, you're basically saying, hey, go to this junior college and get your academics together. He hasn't been able to get his academics together his whole life. So the reality is he'll probably go to a JC, bounce around for a couple of years, and go and start working somewhere. So my whole thing is, what's the drawback? You start rapping, and you start working some part-time job, you're gonna be basically where you would be anyway in 10 years if it doesn't pop. That's the reality.
Fletcher, but in your hypo, you're talking about someone that never applied themselves, and so if someone never applied themselves, then it's like you got college is a fresh opportunity for them to apply themselves and to go hard for once. And so, like, if you're gonna go, but my point is that if you're gonna go hard at rap or sports, for instance, if you go hard at the academics, you don't need to be the exception to live a good life.
All right, so let's just be clear here. Whenever you say go hard at academics, you're basically saying doctor, lawyer, engineer.
No. I'm not saying necessarily doctor, lawyer, engineer. I'm not talking about the end product. I'm just talking about getting through college. If you're saying that he failed out, then he needs to get himself up to speed so that he can excel academically.
Okay, excel academically, and then what? Who are these? Wait a second. Who are these? Hold on. Let me ask you this: who are these brothers who basically failed academically and then went to some junior college, got it together, and then became some commercial success? Where do these cats exist? And that's my point to you: is they don't exist either.
That's not
true. Just like you don't see the rappers, you don't see who failed academically and then they went to a junior college, got it to quote unquote got it together, transferred somewhere, and then they're like sitting on.
My assistant didn't graduate from high school, went to junior college, and he got into Harvard Law School, scholarship.
Brother?
He's Native American. He's not brother, but Native American. And my point is that I'm not going to tell stories. I'm not going to tell some of my assistants' story. But the point is, though, is that like he didn't graduate from high. In my interview, I was like, "Oh, where'd you go to high school?" He's like, "Oh, I didn't really graduate from high school."
Okay, but B, go back and give me a brother.
But here's the thing, Fletcher. I probably can think about someone that I know, but I can't off the top of my head. But here's my point, though, Fletcher, is that you watch these Russ videos, you watch those Nip videos back in the day, you watch Dorian, you've seen the Teddy Pendergrass documentary, you've seen the Whitney Houston documentary, you've seen how the story plays out. And so you're telling someone to basically chase a game that more than likely is going to result at the end of it that they're broke.
But okay, let me say this, man.
And that's if they make it. Wait, hold on a second. That's if they make it.
But for a lot of these cats,
like that's if they make it. Like, did you see DJ Vlad's interview with Keek?
Mm-hmm.
Keek said he made like $3,000 off of stacking chips, like $3,000. Three.
Okay, hold on, baby. Let's come on.
Three. And that was on the radio.
Let me say this though.
I mean,
Stacking Chips. He made $3,000 off of Stacking Chips, but Stacking Chips introduced him to his audience.
Right, but
so yeah, but that was also the foundation for his brand. Again.
No, Fletcher. But what I'm saying is that Keek is a successful artist. So obviously he's worth more than $3,000 now because he's put out CDs or whatever. But he's a successful artist. But my point is that they're going to give you the fame, but they're not always going to give you the checks and the money. Whereas someone that is working a quote square job or running a square business, and they're at Keek's age now, Keek's probably in his mid to late 40s. Right. They're probably doing well. Now they may not be balling. They may not be doing. They may not have the outward appearance of wealth. They may not be wearing their wealth or flossing their wealth, but they probably have the middle class stability.
So you're saying the average guy who went through open public schools back in the 80s/90s when Keek went through, you're saying those guys that are in their mid 40s right now are all doing well?
No, but but all I'm saying though is that if you have two choices, and you're going to talk about making it, right? Whatever making it means, and you're like, all right, like what is the high, the mid, and the low? The high for the rapper is probably going to be higher than the academic, although you can make the debate that it may not be. But let's just say, I'll give you that. I'll concede that. The mid is the mid for a rapper. The median rapper's income is probably nothing.
But
especially in 2020.
But B, you're operating off of this assumption that this kid who's basically failed throughout school is going to automatically go to the next.
Right, but you're operating off the assumption that the rapper is actually gonna pop, and the reality is that right, Fletcher. But the reality is that there's probably less than 50 artists that are making real money in rap in 2020. 50.
Okay. Let me say this. My point is this, B. My point is this. I think that the chances of a kid who's basically failed academically throughout his whole life going to a California junior college and making it through, I think those chances are just as low, maybe a little bit higher, but essentially just as low as someone who's trying to rap. You're just not. That's not the way. Now we can spin that, and that's not politically correct, and people would probably disagree with that. But no, man, like if you failed throughout your whole life, and now you want to go to a junior college and make it happen, it's probably not going to happen. Now we can explore different avenues and whatever, but it's not going to happen. The numbers tell you that. The published numbers. It's not.
Right, but I think that the published numbers are like, is it like 80 or 90% of kids never transfer to a 4-year?
I forgot what the stat was. But it was still, like, it's rare.
But it's still like 10%. It's still double digits. That's way more than the people that try to rap that make it. It's just a fact.
Okay.
And it's way harder. It's way harder to make money in rap in 2020 than it is in
let me say this though.
30 years ago than it was 30 years ago.
You have the Joe Buddens. You have
Joe Budden said he was broke.
There's other avenues now in quote unquote rap. I mean, you could be a DJ Academics. You can you could be like a marketer. I mean, there's a lot.
Name me Fletcher. Name me all the guys you're talking. I mean, you keep naming DJ Academics. You keep naming Joe Budden. Those dudes are the exceptions. That's like telling someone, "Oh, you can start a podcast. You can be the next Joe Rogan." It's like, come on, man. What are you talking about?
No. What's his name is making money. I think here's the thing. I think anyone who's making money off of hip hop, if you're making money off of hip hop hashtags, if you're making money off of basically promoting anything off of your hip hop knowledge, to me, you're leveraging hip hop. That's the reality, B.
I mean, Doc, you sound like people on like Clubhouse. Shout out to Teddy. You sound like people on Clubhouse, like, oh, you need to start a business with vibes. Basically, it's like, come on, Fletch.
No, but B, the reality is this though, man. You're basically sending cats into a trap, and you're acting like it's not a trap. And that's like, no, B, it's a trap. Now, here's the thing. If someone is academically inclined, go to college.
No, but Fletcher, but here's the thing though.
But you're basically saying, cut out the act. Like, yeah, you've been failing your whole life. Stop it now and go over here and get it together.
Yeah, but someone going to Oakland Unified School Districts. schools may not have been going to the best schools or may not have had the best teachers, may not have been in a situation to excel, and that by going to Laney or Merritt, they may link up with a teacher who will invest in them and get them on the right path. So I don't think that someone failing through school, I think that college oftentimes is a fresh start. Like you can re-identify yourself. It's an opportunity to literally, it's a fresh start.
Let me just address this point that Teddy made. He said, "Bro, Fletcher, it appears that only anomalies win in rap." Here's the thing, and this is my point: is I've ran ads. Well, here, let me just say this for the audience. I bought a $500 picture book from Nipsey Hussle back in 2017, right? A couple years before he passed away. I consistently run ads against Nipsey Hussle fans on Instagram and have gotten clients off of it. My point is, you don't necessarily have to be rapping to be making money off of rap. And I know that that's kind of, DJ Vlad isn't rapping, but he's making money off of rap.
Okay.
You don't need to,
But Fletcher, you're talking about the best. Look, man, this is the reality. And Teddy can speak from this. I'm not Jay-Z or J. Cole of the lawyer game. I'm not Meek Mill. I'm probably not even Keek. But the point is that I make a good living. And so I probably make more money. My business probably generates more money than most rappers, particularly when you're not included, when you're almost like the unemployment measurement. Everyone who's trying to get a job, you count. If you measure everybody that's trying to rap, I'm making way more money than most rappers. The guys that you're mentioning are exceptions. They're like anomalies. It's like telling someone like, man, you could be a lawyer, you can be Johnny Cochran, or you can be Brian Panish. And it's like the reality is that most people ain't living in a $30 million house like Brian Panish does next to LeBron. So the thing is, though, and this is Chris Rock's point, is that you can be like a regular dentist, attorney, engineer, and you can win. Teddy says that Vlad went to Cal.
Yeah, he did. Vlad is smart. But I think that you underestimate the talent that you had academically to get through school, become an attorney.
Right, Professor, my high school GPA. I've like to have this, but I want to keep it honest. Doc, my high school GPA was 2.3.
Yeah, but B, you weren't okay. But
and wait, hold on a second. And you were about to say, B, you weren't applying yourself. Neither is the person that you were talking about in your hypothetical, which is my point.
But B, most rappers that you see out here don't apply themselves. I know, and I'm not going to say any names, but I see guys all the time where I'm going on the Instagram page, and I'm like, man, you've been on IG since 2007. You got 30 posts.
Right, Professor. But here's the thing.
Just as I say, I don't know if Instagram was even around in 2007, but you guys get the point.
But but Fletcher, but even when when people examine Meg the Stallion's contract, right? That she signed at like 18 or 19. And that maybe if she went, I think she was in college when she signed it, right? Which goes to my point that you could do both. Her contract basically means her contract essentially is so bad that she's going to have to sell like Beyonce to make some real money.
No, let me say something. No one would know who Meg the Stallion was if she didn't sign that bad contract. People kill this.
But that's my point, though, and that's Nip's point, is that they're giving you fame,
right?
And they're taking the money,
right?
And like my point is that there's a lot of dudes out there that got the fame, and and they weren't able to finesse it into a career.
I agree.
And then someone else got the money, and they would have been better off in the long term over the course of 30, 40, 50 years if they had if they were working a square job.
If they could execute that square job. B, what's the median income for? I think the median income for black men in America is $42,000.
Okay, Kevin Samuels. Okay.
The median income for black men in America is $42,000. That's what you get in the middle. That's what you get in the middle. So my thing is, chase your dream. If you think that you can rap, go out here and rap. Let's see. But you got to grind. You know, if you want to do the academic thing, do the academic thing. But
yeah, but you can't avoid the grind in anything. I mean, you don't have to grind in anything.
I'm just at the point now where the next time I go into one of these schools, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, look, you can go this route, you can do this, but if you want to rap, rap. But I'll see you in 10 years, and let's see what you got.
Teddy asked the question to modernize rap.
Thank you.
All right. So let me address that, TP. They're making 0.0001% on Spotify. So you're not monetizing the music. And even wait, you're not monetizing the music. And even on most deals, if you sign a traditional label deal and you don't got no leverage and you weren't an independent artist prior to that, TP, the label's taking your merch, the label's taking your touring. So to say, I think that it's harder because, and the other thing is that we don't sit with the music as long as we did before. Like an album would come out and you would be playing that album for like a year. Like, how many albums have you played that have been recently released that you played for a year, TP?
No, but B. Here's my point though, man. Is I think you're too focused on the money. You're too focused on the music. Hip hop is bigger than just music now.
So one of the things Dorian brought out in one of his interviews.
Thank you. Question is regards to monetizing fame.
Right.
He sees it.
Right. So one of the things
who cares about the money? I mean, who cares about the music?
One of the things that Dorian talked about in one of his interviews was that he noticed that J. Cole re-released his music videos to his own YouTube page. And Dorian said that a lot of times artists are signing away their YouTube. So like basically when you're signing a deal, you're signing away everything. So you can't monetize your YouTube page. You're not monetizing your tour. You're not doing your merch. You're not doing your shows, your smaller shows. They're getting a piece of everything. Now, I think it's hard to monetize the fame. Like, who's out here? How many rappers can you guys name that are making money off their fame?
Being a few control powers that be. Yeah.
Right. But I think that they are making more money. One, there was no 360 deals back then. Two, I think they are making more money on their actual music. Like, dog, we were paying like $10 to $15 for CDs in the mid 90s with mid 90s money.
But here's the thing. And I think TP understands this too. These rappers are commodities too. Meaning, is there really much difference between Lil Tecca and Lil TJ? Is there really?
I don't know.
No, exactly. That's my point. No, there isn't much difference. The biggest thing that these labels, I think, have to do is find the talent, make sure that they're producing some music. Every single rapper is not going to pop. And again, the average brother in America is making $42,000.
Right, but Fletcher, I think that
So
we
it's
have
like, all right, am I gonna sign this bad deal, or do I
see.
go and get this job at IHOP?
See, I hate
And
to
that's
sound
the
like this,
reality. That's the
but
reality that's going on. That's a conversation that's going on the street.
but 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 we have to push education. And I hate to sound, I hate to be like that guy. Now that doesn't always have to be in college, but we have to push education.
And
And
Teddy's word right here, opportunity. That's the word of the actual show. Opportunity. Who's going to take advantage of opportunities? Period. And that also, and ultimately comes back down to one thing: talent. I'm talking about making money off of rap. I'm not a rapper.
right,
I'm not.
right. Well, clearly you are. But Fletch, we're talking about your hypothetical was should they go to college or should they be a rapper? And I guess my point is that college to me is always the best option for an 18 and 19-year-old. Unless you have a job where you're going to make, 6 figures or you're in a profession like sports.
If you have any kind of buzz in high school where your high school likes your music and you're not good at school, you need to go all in on rap. You do. And when I say all in, 5 albums a year. Like, just go all in.
You've been listening to too many Russ interviews.
No, just all in. This the internet's here, man. And I think to a certain degree, you're a part of the old guard that hasn't adjusted to it. But my thing is, don't let me come talk to these kids at these schools now, because the opportunity is here if you can take advantage of it. But you don't need to be a rapper to make money off of rap.
Okay, but Fletcher, but the only people you're naming are people on the extremes. Again, you're naming the anomalies. You're saying like, oh, people are making money playing basketball. Look at LeBron James. Look at Steph Curry. And it's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, okay.
The fact is that the easiest road to the middle class is through going to college. And I'm not really trying to sound like I'm not really like, I think that's the reality. And most people are average. And not to sound like Kevin Samuels, but you got to like know where you are. You got to have some self-awareness where you are.
And I think that's the key too.
Wait, here's the thing. So if you are a 6 in life, then you need to take your ass to college. Now, if you're uber talented, do you remember that kid when we shot that commercial? And the kid that played me, he was like a singer or whatever. If you have talent like that, then yeah, you can go.
Where's that kid now?
I don't know, but because it's hard. You can go roll the dice and be an actor, singer, or dancer, or whatever. But the point is that there's a lot of kids that have accomplished far less than that kid did to that point, that talk about being an actor or a rapper, and it's like everyone wants to do it. The easiest way to build a middle class life is through college, in my opinion. Now, you shouldn't try to take out hundreds of $1,000s in loans. Like if you know you want to be a school teacher, you need to go to a public school, and you need to find a school that's going to give you a scholarship.
Read Teddy's last one, and that's exactly what I'm saying.
Here, look. Yeah, but I would agree, people, but most people aren't all in on life. So it's not just a rap issue. Like being all in on life is going to have tangible results and wins. And if you're all in on college, you're going to have something tangible to show after that versus being all in on rap.
The easiest road is by pursuing your passion. Many DJs fail rappers, but they're still in the business. Exactly. I'm in the hip hop business.
No, but wait, hold on a sec, Fletcher. Wait, stop trolling. Fletcher, did you watch the Ready to Love?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you watch all the episodes?
Yeah, most of them.
Did you see the one
DJ? The DJ?
Yeah. The DJ said, how much did he say he made? He said he made like $3,000.
The problem with the DJ is I didn't know him.
Yeah, but he's in Houston.
If you're a DJ in Houston, you gotta be online. I gotta know you. The fact that I don't know him, I was like, okay.
All right. So here was the scenario. Was that the DJ was filming this girl and they were like dating. This is like a old, probably like a mid 30s to mid 40s reality dating show on the Oprah Winfrey Network. And there was a couple. One was a DJ. I forget what the woman was, and she was like, "So, do you believe that the man should pay the mortgage?" And he said something like, "Oh, I think we should split the bill." And it just ended all the energy. And that basically they were like going steady, whatever, for a couple episodes, and then it kind of dropped after that. But I don't think being a DJ is like.
But he was a DJ in Houston. The show is based in Houston with people from Houston, and no one knows who he is.
Yeah, but Fletcher, again, first of all, most major markets maybe have one, maybe two hip hop channels. So he may be on like the KBLX.
But my point, though, B, is this: his peers that were women from his own city where he works in don't even know who he is.
Yeah, radio. Tell me who hosts the noon show on Cameo.
I'm just trying to explain to you why he wasn't making no money.
No, but tell me who hosts.
No one knows you. If they don't know you, they can't flow you.
No, but Fletcher, tell me who hosts the noon show on Cameo, which is a local hip hop channel here in the Bay.
I don't know.
Can you name one DJ, one radio host besides Big Von that on Cameo?
Big Von. You know what, the Asian chick that sounds black. I can't think of her name though. Sana J. I'm not Sana J. Now I wouldn't recognize her. I would recognize her voice though. But so but B, my main point to you though, and I think Teddy is kind of hitting on this, is there's money all over hip hop, because hip hop has the attention of the world, which means hip hop is the currency of the world. And I think to a certain degree you don't believe that, and I think that's kind of the crux of the argument here, is because you're not buying that, because I don't think
you think that black men should pursue hip hop more than they should pursue college? Get the fuck out of here, man.
If you're on the path to being in the middle, basically making your $42,000 a year, yeah, why not? What do you have to lose?
But
you have to lose.
But most people that are attempting to rap aren't making $42,000 a year. That's a fact. I'm just
saying that you don't have anything to lose. If you're 18 and you try rapping from 18 to 28 and you decide at 28 it didn't work, all right, then go get a job somewhere. Go be, regular. I'm just saying, my thing is, if you're gonna do it, just go hard. And I don't think enough cats are putting out enough music. They're not posting enough. They're not hungry enough. I'm hungry.
I hate to sound like Yvette and Tone, but you're basically telling them to be a do-gooder. And it's like, come on, man, what are you talking about? Oh, you need to work hard.
I post 50 times a day across multiple platforms. I'm hungry, though. I'm hungry.
But all I'm saying, though, Fletcher, is that telling an 18-year-old to not go to college but to pursue hip-hop is horrible advice.
No, I said I would recommend it if they started in high school and had a little buzz.
What about if it was a black kid from Newark Memorial?
Does he have some buzz?
No. I'm saying, what would your advice be to a black kid from Newark?
if he had some grades, I'm like, if he showed any kind of academic promise, push the grades.
What up, TP? What are your thoughts?
What up, fellas, man? Mama made it. Hey, can you repeat the question, B?
What are your general thoughts on the conversation?
This is a tough one for me because I keep going back and forth. Because, Fletch, I think you would agree that there's really no substitute for education. All of us went to school. And your success, Fletch, Broderick, your success is a product of all the education. But at the same time, B, you would also have to agree that if you want massive success, you don't get massive success without passion. And school is not a substitute for passion. If you were to talk to Kanye West or people around him or Jay-Z or, anyone that we look up to, what you will find is that, passion, we've kind of neutered that term. It's probably more like what would be the word for it? For extreme passion. Obsession.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
To the point where the people around them probably wouldn't really enjoy being around them because that's all they did. That's all they talked about.
Yeah.
And so, you know how Fletcher is. Fletcher's about going to higher heights.
Right.
But Fletch, again, you can't discount how education has played a role.
No, that's true. That's true.
So I'm on the fence on it. I hate to be on that guy.
My thing, TP, too, is what do you really have to lose out here? I mean, if I stripped you away from all school and education and I said, TP, go out here and make $42,000 a year, you could probably figure out a way to make $42,000 a year.
Teddy, I don't know. B, I was surprised. To me, I've always been the academic dude. In high school, I had a big old book bag with a lot of books. I was in your National Honor Club. I was that dude. You know what I mean? So probably not for me, but I see your point because you can just get in the right situation, work hard on the job. You could probably get to the 42 probably. I would tend to agree with that.
And one thing too is this, man. I mean, I knew a kid in high school, and B, don't say his name, but I knew a kid in high school, man. And I remember, in high school, my man, I don't think this cat could ever really rap and blah blah. And I remember when I heard Wiz Khalifa, and I saw him on YouTube, and I heard him rap, I was thinking, man, I think my boy could have done this.
He could have done it.
He could have done this. This he could do. And go ahead, TB.
My bad. And bro, let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen someone who didn't come up with something if they really, really, really pursued their passion for a significant amount of time? I've never seen that. Because truth be told, you want to get into some metaphysical stuff, like I think you start tapping into like natural laws. But you can't be passionate about something. I mean, these are facts, and you right, B. You can't be passionate about something and pursue it for a sustained period of time, and we don't see no fruit. That violates time harvest. That violates natural laws.
See, I think that I know people that have pursued passions where it hasn't worked out. Now, maybe they're not going as hard. You only know what you see online or what you see in the limited interaction. So you don't know like whether or not someone is like up 3 summers, making 3 beats for 3 summers, whatever Kanye said, but you don't know how hard they're going. But I think it's possible for someone to have a passion and for them not to execute that passion. Like you can be like, do you remember the dude that went to Santa Clara with us. A Filipino dude, and he was always talking about he was going to be on the team and he was going to like walk on and play pro ball. I don't know if you, but he was, but he didn't go to Santa Clara, but he would sneak up at the gym. So he'd be like playing, and he dated some chick up there. So we all thought he kind of went to school there. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I'm going to be on the team. I'm like playing at the junior college. I'm going to transfer over. Then I'm going to go overseas. Like he knew he was the NBA, but he was going to try to go overseas. And then someone, I think his girl told us one time, was like, nah, man, he was like the scorekeeper for like West Valley Junior College. The point is that dude played ball every day. Like he was better than me.
But B, I think you missed my point. I'm not saying that if you pursue a goal for a long enough period of time, you will reach it. But my question to you is, have you ever seen a situation where someone was passionate about something and they pursued it for a significant amount of time and you didn't see no fruit? Now, that may not be if you want to play hoop. Let's take an example. Someone from Santa Clara, Lord Pierce. Now, Lord from San Jose, California, to me was a specimen, dude. If I had this athletic ability, come on, man. This dude was tell Fletcher about him. This dude was a beast.
He's fastest, yeah.
But look at him now.
Well, I mean, he's an NBA coach.
Huh?
He's an NBA coach.
That's my point.
But the point is that the dude went to college. Like the dude went.
But the issue is not college. The issue is about pursuing your passion, right?
Right. But there's a lot of people that do pursue like coaching, for instance, that aren't coaching in the NBA 16 years after we.
Okay. Then let's stop right there now. But if it is true that they had a passion for it, it should be some fruit we should see. Maybe you're not a coach. Maybe you're assistant coach. Maybe you are. It should be something because
right. TP, I agree.
Okay.
I all right. So I'll concede that. I'll agree. But what I'm saying is that the fruit that you can get from making it as a hip hop person in 2020 is like, it's only going to go so far. Most people are trying to rap. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, I got songs, whatever. And it's like, y'all are thinking about the people that you know, but there's a lot of people that are making that same level of attempts. And they may be like, man, I got 10,000 streams. You know what I'm saying? So like, you're not going to get paid. Like,
right.
But that is some fruit. Like for instance, like that dude Dorian said he had 1 million streams on Spotify. I had never even heard of him.
But you heard of him now.
He only made $4 grand.
But you heard of him now, right?
Well, right. But he said he only made $4 grand from the 4 streams, and there's nothing wrong with that $4 grand.
But hold on, that's fruit. You look at, Broderick. You look at Dorian's. You talking about Dorian 82, right?
Right.
You look at him. Fletcher looks at him, and I look at him. So there's the fruit from the grind.
Right, but I'm talking about his music.
I think
that's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
We're saying if you pursue something, because, hey, man, we're all trying to get in where we fit in. The music thing just may not be for him. But again, I've never seen anybody grind for a sustained period of time, and we don't see no type of fruit. And it may not be where because even in business, they tell you, for startups, like you may start out this whole thing about, what do they refer to? What's the term? A pivot. A pivot ain't nothing but you set out for a goal, you didn't achieve it, so you try something else. But what they'll tell you is that you wouldn't even know to go to that other route if you wouldn't pursue your first route. Like you're not going to understand where the destination is. You just got to keep going. So
right,
you got to iterate. And so Dorian has iterated to probably something that's probably more aligned with his skill set and talents. Right. He's a heck of a podcaster.
Right.
How you chopping it up? I mean, Meek Mill probably couldn't do that, but Meek Mill can probably wrap him under the table.
Right. TP, I completely agree. But what I'm saying is that, like this commenter Schmatz, fruit ain't enough. You need to be something to sustain you. You need.
So you don't think Dorian is on the path to success?
Oh yeah, for sure Dorian is. But what I'm saying is that Dorian's an exception, and I don't. You're talking about.
You get my charge. Hold on one second.
What?
Here's the thing. I think TP is making a good point. Here's the thing though, man. And fruit is good, but you got to eat too. Here's the thing: is that I think that if you're pursuing your passion, to me, you're gonna be able to figure out ways in there to eat. And I know that starting out, it's kind of like this: when you're starting out on a journey, whether back in the day when they were trying to explore the West and whatever, you don't know when that next lake is gonna come, but eventually that lake is gonna come. Those berries, that animal to eat. You don't necessarily know when your next meal is gonna come. But that's kind of how the journey is. You know what I mean? Like today, let me just say this. Today, I'm not going to talk about my firm, but I got 4 unexpected clients today. I didn't know that was coming, but when you're pursuing your passion, stuff like that just kind of falls into your lap. Little like nuggets and jewels and berries and water and you know what I mean? Like the food comes, but you got to just be genuinely pursuing your passion.
I agree with you. I think school, again, there's, I'm not going to sit here and say there's never a return you get from school. And, and so I won't say that. But again, if you're trying to get massive success, I don't think you really, unless you just uber talented, excluding those people, I don't think you get there, man, unless you have that passion to a point where it's obsessive. And I'll give you another example. My homie, y'all my homies, but my homie from undergrad, we were a clique of 4 cats. And these three of the cats were beyond smarter than me. I had a stronger work ethic, but I'm talking about one dude had a 1490. These dudes was just ridiculous. 4 black cats. Now this dude I'm gonna tell you about, I'll call his name, I don't think you mind. He's on ESPN right now. He has a PhD, a postdoc in biomedical engineering. He messed around here in grad school. He got into fantasy sports. He got so into fantasy sports that he was flying out to Vegas watching the summer league games. It got ridiculous. He was like part of like 12 to 15 fantasy sports leagues. His wife drove his wife crazy. He got so good at them that they wouldn't even let him, because he just start winning so much, they wouldn't even let him participate. And so how did he go from PhD biomedical engineering, postdoc at Duke and all these Michigan, all these schools, to now he's on ESPN ahead of all the fantasy sports? That's because of passion. Now, what is this biomedical engineering, double E undergrad? What all have to do with him being on ESPN right now?
Well, I mean, probably put him in positions to economically be able to chase his passions. It sure didn't hurt.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
He flying out to Vegas, man. To somebody, he trying to see what Giannis is really doing. Like he got to a point. And if his article, Fletcher, in closing, on ESPN, when you read it, his introduction to how he got there, man, it's latent with anecdotes of just pretty much obsession. He got obsessed with fantasy sports.
Teddy, this is what I was telling Broderick earlier. I think before you got it on, I said, look, the people who are in the middle are commoditized, especially now with the internet. You got to get on the extremes. And the thing is, when you get on the extremes, you get recognized. ESPN has to mess with you because you're so far on the extremes. No one's competing with you out there. Either because they don't want to, or because they think that you're doing too much, or because whatever. But that's where the game is in the extremes.
And Brian, it's hard for me to hear that from Fletcher, but I think he's right, dude. I think he's right because I've been programmed my whole. I'm 3rd generation educated college, right? And so school is a very, very important to me. education, because I'm
You're
from
third
down south. It's
generation.
just a whole different.
You're third generation.
Mm-hmm. My
You're
grandmother had a master's degree. My great aunt did. These are Georgia Southern folks, man. So, it's a different situation than y'all in California. Y'all can kind of do what y'all want to do. Down there, we can't do what we want to do like that. So, for me, but I'm seeing the reality, and I think Fletcher's right, man. Because unless you go to nice nice schools and great credentials, you are just kind of stuck in the middle, man, with your BS or your whatever, dude. Like we here in Silicon Valley, if you want to get part of the VC game where all the big dollars are made, good luck if you didn't go to Stanford University. Good luck.
Yeah. I see that.
Even if you want to get startup money, right? If you want to get seed money, good luck if you didn't go to Stanford University.
Right, but I guess my point is that going to Stanford is on the extreme. Like you're clearly talented, at least at 18.
Right, but I guess the point I'm trying to make is that most people by definition are not going to be at their extremes. So if you're going to college route, some of these opportunities that you see and you think you want to pursue, I mean, Broderick, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, man. One of the things I drive clearly crazy. One of the things that I like to do, I like to read business books. I got them flowing, man. But the reality, I would love to be in the VC game. Did Teddy Patty go to Stanford? I think I'm pretty smart. But do I have a Stanford degree? I'm right here in Cupertino County. We at Ground Zero. We in the Bay. I'm 8 miles from Sand Hill Road. I drive there. I can be there 10 minutes. Can I get in?
Right.
I mean, and again, that's TP. That was my point to be was, man, you got to get. I mean, the reality of the game is in the extremes. If you want to be in the middle, then be in the middle, but don't lie to yourself about being in the middle. You're just in the middle.
If you think about Fletcher, Fletcher is he's passionate about that workers' comp stuff, dude. I would say Fletcher is more passionate about workers' comp than I am about IP. He's passionate about it. That's why, Fletcher, you're gonna have to get that king of comp by the end of the year. You're gonna have to think about that. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, and you see the fruit.
Right. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that the stuff in passion. I just think that telling someone to chase a pipe dream over the safer education route, and you're talking to the general public, not one particular person, it's better advice. Like go to school, and then you can figure out when you go to school.
All right, let me just say something, B. To some degree, and this is just my opinion, that statement or your sentiment has, to some degree, racial implications. Because historically, as African-American people, we didn't have the luxury to pursue our passions because we didn't have anything to fall back on. Now, your kids, or your daughter, Fletcher's kids, and even mine, to some degree, they have more of the bandwidth to do it, and we're just able to do this. But see, back in the day, if I would have told my grandmother, my auntie, that I want to pursue my passion, in business without going to college, they would have said, nah, you got to do it because it ain't nothing for you to fall back on. But see, that's why I think we haven't really seen a lot of the success back in the day either, because we were already kind of told to go and pursue the safer route. They told in the 90s, they told every African American student to go into engineering. And I'm gonna tell you, Broderick, this is real spill. You can ask anybody at these top schools at Georgia Tech. A lot of African American students and this is controversial, but they didn't graduate. And it's not because they wasn't passionate. I mean, it wasn't smart enough. Engineers going to test you, and that's not what they wanted to do. Or if they graduated, if you look at the number of African Americans that graduated, and you look at them now and see what they're doing, I can guarantee you less than 10%, probably less than that, are actually doing engineering work. You told them to go and get a engineering degree because that was a safe route for these students. That's how Black people can get into the middle class. But if you ain't never built nothing, you don't like the code, what the heck are you doing in the engineering program?
Right. I mean, that's a great point, T. But I get TP, but then what would you say to an 18-year-old that's like, Teddy, my passion is video games?
You know, they pay money. They pay kids real good money for video games, bro.
Right. But the kid is on Twitch or whatever streaming services, and he ain't that good.
But he's passionate about it.
Is he passionate about it though?
Passionate.
Okay, well, look, here's the thing, Broderick, man. You got some passionate people in sports who ain't athletic, but guess what? They got coaching jobs for you. You can do statistician. Think about Brian Windhorst, the guy from Cleveland who followed LeBron. That dude's passionate. Look at Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless can tell you a stat from 1979, football, basketball, whatever, and be right about it. But Skip can't play no ball. Shannon was an athlete. And Shannon's a good commentator, but he can't break them stats down like Skip Bayless can. But guess what? When you're passionate about something, there's always going to be room for you. You just got to accept your role.
Right. And the thing is, it's not traditional. I mean, it's not traditional, and so it's one of those things where how are you gonna get through the maze? I don't know, but passion is gonna kind of keep your eyes open, et cetera, et cetera.
And let me say something too to that point, Fletcher, man. Broderick, man, and trust me, I feel this is kind of a hard pill for me to swallow for myself. I'm not saying that I'm right, but I'm gonna tell you, man. When you just do something out of convenience, like I'm going to engineering because they say they're engineering, great engineering jobs, and you ain't got the talent or the passion, dude, trust me, when you get in there, they're going to knock your head off. It's like you've been on a football field and you weren't supposed to be out there, dude, because that competition is going to be so tough for you. That if you ain't got the passion nor the talent, you ain't gonna make it. You're gonna end up doing something. You're gonna end up detouring anyway. I'm telling you what I know.
Teddy, so if you were talking to your daughter, your oldest daughter's probably like 10-ish.
10, yep.
All right. So if you were talking to your daughter, let's say in 4 years, she's a freshman in high school, and she's like, Teddy, Daddy, should I think about going to college, or I want to pursue my passion? And I'm not. No, let me say this hypothetical. She comes to you, it's like, Daddy, I don't want to go to college. I know you and Mommy went to college. I want to pursue my passion.
And art.
Like, what?
And let's say art.
No, let's say like I want to be. I want to be funny, but I want to be a model, or I want to be like a TikToker or a social media influencer.
She wants to be a social media influencer?
Yes.
Here's the thing. Okay, this is what I would tell her. I know what Kalila would tell her. Kalila gonna say, she gonna tell her to get your butt and apply to school in North Carolina. That's what Kalila gonna tell her, right? And then when I said I gotta say that, I'm gonna get cussed out. But I'm gonna say, if you want to be a TikToker, I'm gonna need to see some evidence of you posting something. Do you got followers? I'm gonna need to see something. You gotta have more followers than me. I got 70. I got 110 followers now. If you ain't even got 110 followers now, I'm not believing that's your passion.
That's real.
Bro, you got a young daughter. See,
you got to make the hypothetical real. I mean, you got to make it to where she's on TikTok. She has, 1 million followers now, and she's like, "Hey, you know what? I want to go to Hollywood and do X, Y, Z." You know what I mean? Like, you got to make the hypothetical real.
Because think about it, Broderick. It's easier for you to accept what Fletcher's saying now than it was when I was in high school at 18 in the 90s. Man, you would have told these black people, these black parents, man, post civil rights and all that, that you were going to pursue your passion. If that passion didn't lead to no money, they won't, dude, it was not about to happen, dog.
Right. But but I just think that the thing is that most parents, most people are going to be like, you should go to college because it's the safe route.
I think that is somewhat racially biased.
What do you mean? Like, you mean black people or like white people don't say the same thing?
I believe most black people gonna tell their kid to go to college.
Right, but the thing is that, not to sound like Tone or Yvette, but we ain't got no wealth. So it's like you ain't got like.
Speaking of Tone and Yvette, I love them, but they the one complaining the most, and they got all the degrees, and they complain. They the number one. They in the front of the line of the reparations movement. You making our point.
No, that's real.
With the UCLA, he'll tell you. I went to UCLA, and he better tell you she proud alum of Howard, and they the front of the line and talk about reparations.
Right, but the thing is that you can't if you don't have parents that can like prop you up or give you money to bail you out, like when you need a job or something like that, then college is like. It's definitely the safest route. I mean, it's like, what else are you gonna do?
Okay, let me just say something, Broderick. In 2021, man, with all this, see, it was hard in the 90s, man, because you really needed capital, man, and all the distribution channels were dominated by few people. You couldn't get on no TV. That was the only way you could get your product or who you were out there, dude. You couldn't get on TV. You couldn't do it. But now with all these new distribution channels, trust and believe, if you have a unique perspective, if you have some charisma, dude, and I'm talking about unique. I'm not talking about average. Yo, man, you go look at Country Wayne. Country Wayne is from a place in Georgia I ain't never heard of. And his kids made, according to him, his kids made a couple $100,000 in the summer videotaping for him. So how much did he make? Country Wayne in the 90s, he's 33 right now, according to what he says. If he was my age, if he was 43 or 44, you would have never heard of no Country Wayne. Because I can take you to some cats in Georgia right now. You can take me some cats in Oakland and Fremont. I can take you to some cats in Barrow County, Georgia right now, who wittier, who's funnier, who can outdance all the people we see on TV. I can take you right now. I can name names. I just don't want to put their names out here. I can tell you, but guess what? They didn't have the internet. They didn't have Instagram. I know some cool fly dudes, man, who put them clothes together, dude.
The thing is that, I mean, this is 2021. The problem is that, you know, my kids are going to be graduating, you know, are going to be that college age in what, 2040, 2045? I mean, where are we going to be in 20, 25 years? We're having this conversation now. 20, 25 years from now, I mean, I was kind of like making a joke about how like this is like real life. I mean, that the digital world is almost more real life than real life is. And in 20, 25 years, 30 years, yeah, I mean, it's even going to be more of this. And that's why what I'm telling thee is stop looking at where the puck is now. Start thinking about where the puck is going to be.
Right, but Fletcher, but the puck is ever moving, meaning like 15 years ago, Facebook was the hottest thing. And like, I mean, Facebook, I think, has definitely got a higher black demographic and an older black demographic. But besides our old relatives, ain't nobody, like when I go on my feed, no one really my age uses it.
But
bro, let me ask you a question.
For instance,
MTP.
How you gonna compete, or how are our kids gonna compete in the future? Dude, it's globalization right now. Trust me when I tell you, it just ain't really. See, back in the day when they were shipping jobs overseas, it hurt the blue collar man. But now the white collar man feeling that because we can export that same engineering talent and all type of stuff you want. You can go to upwork.com right now and get anything you want. How your kids gonna compete in the future if all they got is a college degree, but that college degree is not aligned or is not in something that they have a passion in
It's a
or
commodity.
talent in?
You're in
How
the
they gonna
middle. You're
compete?
going to get killed. The people in
You
the
gonna get
middle are going to get
crushed.
killed.
You gonna get
That's what I keep
crushed.
trying to tell Broderick.
I think that you guys. The thing about Fletcher listens to so much Gary Vee that it's hard to tell when
But Broderick,
Fletcher
but I'm
Brown's
but I'm
talking
agreeing
and when
with them.
Gary Vee's
I don't listen to Gary Vee.
but the thing about he's acting like people are failing in the middle.
People aren't completely failing in the middle now, but what TP
Now
saying is it's getting worse day by
it's getting
day.
worse. Dude,
Right.
It's
when I
getting
tell
worse day
you,
by day.
Right,
dude,
but it's hard to get to. Like Fletcher's talking about staying out the middle, but staying out the middle means that you're either really great or you're really bad. And what I'm saying is it's hard to get in the really great area. And Fletcher's just discounting that like that's not a thing.
No, but what I'm
just
trying to say though
yeah.
is that's the only thing that matters. TP and Broderick is the only thing that matters is can you get to that extreme? And if you can't get to that extreme in rap, try this. If you can't get to that extreme in this, try that. Like, but you got to get to that extreme. It's like what TP was saying about all these black kids going into engineering. They couldn't get to the extreme, but engineering was forcing them to the extreme. And the reality is that if you can't get to the extreme, then you need to get the hell out. And
Broderick,
if you have
you didn't get into no Georgia Tech unless you were nice up here, dog. And I ain't talking about potential. You had the grades, dude. They wouldn't let you slide. I knew one dude, a black dude from Florida, who got in it with a 2.6 GPA, but he had a 15.20 on the SAT. And his mom had to call him, beg him, but he had a 15.20. He had a 15.20 out of 1,600. But guess what? Did he graduate? No, he did not. I'm on LinkedIn. I got 2,000 connections. I'm on LinkedIn all the time. Where all the people I went to school with, where all the engineers at? Jokers ain't doing no engineering, man. They're education, they're doing everything but they're law. They're doing everything but engineering.
Right.
You better find something. Like, for me personally, this is just my opinion. When I look at my kids, I'm trying to figure out what are they naturally predisposed to do.
All right.
Thank you.
You like that art, don't you? You like to draw, huh? Well, guess what? You taking art lessons every Saturday. And so since that's your talent, I don't want a day to go by while you ain't doing some art. You like to dance, huh? All right, well, we got virtual dance lessons for you. At the end of the day, Roger, every Saturday, they still, my kids, they doing JavaScript now. They do computer programming. They don't love it, but I'm just going to make sure they have those skills. But in terms of what they're passionate about, that got to be number one, man.
What do you think about this question, Fletcher?
The problem is do you pursue your passion or what you're good at? Here's my answer to that is you got to pursue your gift, meaning almost tapping into the universe. Because here's the thing too, and TP just said it. What are you predisposed to be good at? And I think sometimes people ignore that. So for example, let me give you guys an example. My son Isaiah, I want him to hoop, blah, 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 but he's 5. Can I see him on the court? Yeah, I can see him on the court a little bit. But I can tell he's a lot more like Stephanie's father. Gravitating to his homework, getting upset over his homework, doing all this homework. And I can tell he's going to be a lot more studious. Will he pick up a ball and play hoop? Maybe. But am I going to have to probably worry about him and school and picking up academics? Probably not. Now, does that mean that he's going to necessarily be a doctor? I don't know. But I can tell that he's not going to necessarily have. I don't think he's going to necessarily have great people skills as much as he's going to be a lot more, science, medicine, et cetera, et cetera. And you can just kind of see that now. You know what I mean? A little bit awkward. His sister's a lot more personable. And so my thing is, you have to really kind of tap into that. And my thing is, Broderick's been calling me idea guy my whole life. And now I'm 37. Wait, I'm 37. I just now got the money to put behind my ideas. So now people are like, damn, he's coming with ideas. I've been an idea guy forever. Stephanie is like, are you always coming up with these ideas? Blah, blah, blah. The reality is, it only takes one. TP knows that. It only takes one.
So I think that if your gift is something that you're not passionate about, usually people pursue what they're good at.
There's a lot of guys in the NBA right now that hate basketball. To the guy right there. Hold on, I'm gonna grab my drink. Hold on.
And by the way, Roger, to that point, Serena Williams, she was quoted several years ago saying that she hates tennis or she doesn't like it. But guess what? So to the person who asked that question, to me, Broderick, I think either one. You can either go into something that you're talented in. That's really a good way. I don't think you really can lose in that because you're talented. Right. Or even if you're passionate. I mean, see, people don't really understand. We knew the terms. Obsessed in. If you're obsessed with something, you're gonna fall somewhere. Now, if you try to make it to the NBA, maybe you don't make it to the NBA. But again, there's something around sports or basketball, man, that you can find your place. And so I don't think you go wrong with either one, to me.
Right. I think that if LeBron hated basketball, he wouldn't be LeBron. I mean, he'd probably be an NBA player, but he wouldn't.
You want me to play? But Serena said she hated. Who's a more decorated female tennis player than Serena? And she said she don't even like it. Right. That was her words.
Right. I think that's probably. I need to see the context.
She's quoted. You need to see the quote.
Yeah, let me look at that.
Okay, I need you to quote. I need you to because I can't. I'm on my phone right now. I don't want to be spitting false news, but I remember that came out.
Okay, all right. So this is what she said.
Okay,
here, let me get the quote. All right, here, I'm going to put it in the chat. Let me unmute you, Fletch. Okay.
Okay, that's not really okay. Okay, she said. Okay, that I'm glad you put that quote up. She said she never liked sports.
I mean, the thing is, she's 37, so you wouldn't be like doing all that training.
But she said, "Hold on, we can only go by what she said." She said, "I never liked sports," but she's the most decorated female tennis player in her generation. So that you know the talent.
It's real.
Right, but I mean, clearly, but if you're most of her competitors have been like her initial competitors, like Lindsay Davenport or Martina Hingis, had retired like a decade ago. So clearly, if you're still on the tour,
because she's talented.
No, but there's some level of passion because you gotta hold on a second.
Okay.
Marvin Hagler said this quote, which is true. It's hard to wake up at 5 a.m. when you're sleeping on silk sheets. Like, you're going to lose your will to, if you don't love it, she's got the money. She married someone with even more money than what she got.
No, she did.
The dude from Reddit?
No, she didn't.
And let me say this: Floyd.
Wait, hold on, because we
Go
will
ahead.
be. And this is your show, Broderick.
Yeah.
But we gotta be accurate. No, she didn't. He got and I don't want to get in no trouble on this show. He ain't got nowhere near her money. That's
What
facts.
do you mean? Isn't he the founder of Reddit?
Right. And you go up and look and see how much Reddit ain't IPO. They ain't cash that out, dude. That's a whole different show we'll talk about.
Okay.
At a different time. But you can't discount what she said though, Broderick. She said,
Right.
I never liked sports. You
Right,
can't discount that.
Right, but if you were to ask, like if you were to ask Fletcher honestly, does he love the law, like the actual law, like you like reading case law and stuff like that? He would be like, no, that's just me. I don't love it like that. I'm not just reading random cases just because of the legal brilliance.
Okay. Can I counter you on that?
Yeah.
You see this?
Yeah.
Coming to y'all soon.
Oh, that's
Right
a book.
Yeah. This is the mid-tier. This is 375 of heat. Straight game for you cats. 145 would be out about 2 or 3 weeks. It's been copy edited. I got another 800 pager. Gonna crush the game.
I'll have to have you back on to promote.
Yeah. Shameless plug. Broderick, I love the law. But I don't like being a practitioner.
See,
it's different parts of the game. So you can't just
it's different parts of the game.
You ain't gotta like it all.
Obviously,
he likes the business part. He likes the game of it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it like that.
I like the practice of it more
Thank
than
you.
the law.
I like the intellectual part of it. That's something I like about it.
10 o'clock, and I was talking to her for about an hour about old Oakland and this. We wait for a settlement check. I can do that, and like the marketing. Yeah. Because here's the thing, because I know that the average attorney out there ain't talking to their client at 10 o'clock on a Friday. But I'm gonna be that dude.
And Teddy ain't.
I'm not.
Or my personal cell phone. After I was texting her while I was putting down my daughter saying, all right, I'm gonna call you at 9, and I ended up calling her like at 9:15, and we talked for about an hour. The average attorney ain't going there, and that's what I'm trying to tell Broderick. You gotta play in the edges, damn it.
And so,
you can't be over in the middle. You gotta be on the edges.
Just because you don't like one part of the aspect of the game, don't mean you don't got love for the game.
No, I agree. I'm not saying, but that goes to her quote. Like she said she. So I think
said she never loved sports.
Yeah, but
she said she said I ain't never like working out. She said I don't like sports, but she's an athlete. But she's a professional athlete.
I'm not gonna say that, but I'm an attorney. But there's certain parts where it's like.
But she didn't say that, B. You making a false equivalency.
But whether or not she likes basketball has no impact on her playing tennis.
That's my point, because she's talented. So your talent can take you places, even if you don't really passionate about it. If you got talent, you still can succeed. You would have to agree with that, right? So there you go. Either you got. That's why I tell my kids, you gonna go in something that you talented in or you passionate. But if you gonna go the passionate route, I better see some fruits of that passion. Don't tell me you're a TikToker, you're a social media influencer, and I ain't seeing no posts, and I ain't seeing no followers.
And let me say this too, because I deal with a lot of IG models. That's where you see talent. Wait, because eventually follow me on IG. Follow me on IG. That's where you ultimately see talent. Period. You either have the talent to attract those eyeballs or you don't. And I'll say this, TP. go into my Facebook stories. The little
For today?
Today.
On the record, man. Come on. This is already recorded.
Well, okay. Well, all right. Well, yeah. All right. I'm not gonna even, but anyway, that's where you ultimately see talent. Because I have models, girls hitting me up all the time. Can I be on the page? Can I be on the page? Can I be on the page? All day, every day. And you go into their pages, and it's like, nah, baby, you can't. You can't.
Okay, Kevin Samuels.
And I feel bad. I feel bad about that. But the reality is that you can't. I had this girl, man. Y'all would be shocked by the request I get, but it's like, no.
Let's answer this question. So go for your fruit go for your passion, and you will see the fruit unless you're not good.
Well, I don't think that you're going to see exactly. I don't think if you're pursuing your passion and you don't see some fruit, then you're probably not good, or you're not really passionate.
I'm just saying that you can go the talent route or the passion route. The passion route, but either way, you should see some fruit. The talent, because you're talented. The passion, even if you don't hit your initial target, you're gonna hit somewhere around it. Because if you're drawn to something and you stay with it around enough, you're gonna find some place within that, within the ecosystem that you are going to succeed in. That's
do you think that? Wait. All right. So let me ask each of you this, and I'll start with Teddy. Do you think that your success as an attorney is due to your passion or your talent?
Well, if you want me to be just to keep it a real show,
yeah, keep it a buck.
Keep it a buck.
Keep it a
as
buck.
a 100.
100.
I don't even really feel like I'm like a successful attorney like that, because I don't really have love for it. But hold on, let me tell you what Teddy do got passion for. The scholarship side of the law, shameless plug. Something that drives clearly absolutely wild. I've been working on this thing for literally 9 years. This thing about to drop. I got a passion for the academic side of law. I had to break a dude down today, another trademark attorney. He thought he about that life, but bro, you're not about, there's levels to this, bro. So that's why I'm not really on that. You don't see the fruit in that, because I don't like it like that. But you gonna see the fruit in this.
Right. What about you, Fletch?
In terms of the law, am I talented or am I passionate?
As an attorney.
I think on the business side, I think I'm talented. Meaning, I kind of think I see the different angles. I mean, I'm at a point now where I think I can see my firm blowing in the next couple of years. I'm not on the business side. When people are like, "Oh, you've got Instagram models on your law firm Instagram page. You need to promote the law more." I'm not worried about the law. Just give me the eyeballs and let me start some conversations. I got a client who hit me up about one of the models on the page. Am I worried about his case? No. I mean, we're going to discuss the case, but I just want the interaction. I can figure out when you're going to have a workers' comp case, or when you're going to refer me your cousin or the this or the that. I'm not really even worried about that part. My whole thing is, let me just start the conversation and build the relationships, and we can get to the law later. That's going to come. And I think that's kind of the business side. Yeah, I think that's kind of the business side. Now, so yeah, I'm not, now on the legal side, I still have to take care of business on the legal side. Ultimately, I have to get my clients the benefits and the, I have to have results on the legal side too. But in terms of the business side, I think business is easy, man.
Okay. I was gonna
not like, and not in an arrogant way, but just in a way where I feel like, not in an arrogant way. Like, hey, I still have to hustle up. I still got to call people back. I still got to whatever. But especially off the internet, man, it's just give me the attention.
All right. So
Broderick, obviously Fletcher's talented in that, isn't it? He's obviously talented in business, right?
Oh, I think that Fletcher is definitely has talent in running an law firm.
No, business. Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't do your brother like that, bro.
I think that
he's talented in business, right?
I think that Fletcher is talented in running a law firm.
So you mean to tell me if he wasn't doing another business, he wouldn't have equal or more success? Is that what you're saying? Come on, bro. Don't do him like that.
I think that if he were to run a business that wasn't associated with his law firm, I don't know, because he hasn't done it.
I would put money on Fletcher. I would like to have that bet.
I mean, I would put money on Fletcher too, but he hasn't done it. I'm from Missouri. Show me.
He's showing you now.
So
I gotta show him, man.
So to answer the question for me, I still like a hard thing because I think that compared to a lot of attorneys, I feel like I'm better than a lot of attorneys, or I have a unique skill set. But I think that my success, or I've been in business as long as I have, because of ultimately the passion. Because if you're not into it, like I want it. Like, it's hard to work on cases. I mean, sometimes I have cases that I'm not completely sold on, or they're hella weak, or they were stronger when I signed them up, and then you found out the client was lying. But ultimately, I have my success because of the passion to continue to show up every day and to put in the work. Now, in terms of the talent, that's hard to me. It's hard for a self-evaluation in an industry where you can have winners and losers. And so if I had a larger sample size at trial, and I had successful verdicts, then I would be like, man, I'm like really talented in terms of being a lawyer. Mm-hmm. I think my business acumen is for a law firm is pretty good. And just in terms of I know how to run the shit, and there's people that don't. But am I I don't think, but I think that my passion outweighs. I think it's, for me, it's the passion. But yeah, man, we're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to hop on. We're gonna have to do this more often if you guys get shit on your platforms. I'm gonna have to hop on with y'all. But I just wanted to get this reaction because I was gonna have this phone call with Fletcher anyway. So I'm glad we got to get Roy on here.
My ducks, my swans. You know, I had
welcome to the pod.
I had to.
Dorian would hit us with trademark infringement.
We should. No. What do you think about when he plays the video at the front? He plays. Yeah, is that copyright? If you use it, you think so?
I know so.
Yeah.
They just, but no one's going to enforce. Well, here's the thing right here. He would argue, or his counsel would argue, that his use is basically fair use, right? Because he's doing this kind of a teaching. He's kind of giving his commentary on it, and so he would like to say that it falls under the fair use exception, right?
Right.
And I think it's a good argument. But when you have, I think it's the extent of use as well, right? And so that's why he only gives you certain clips. But let's say if he's using an extensive catalog of anyone's works, then they're like, hold up, bro. You doing kind of a lot.
I thought the same thing. I
and
thought
if it's getting monetized.
Yeah, he's definitely monetized. So I thought it was the same thing, but
But they probably don't really care because it's not like, he's, they probably don't really. They're probably not really trying to enforce it like that,
But when too many people start doing it, maybe they're gonna start cracking down.
Right. I think that I think that the thing is if you keep it short and you have commentary, you add to it, then I think it's like so on the line that if YouTube allows it, I don't think the content creators really care. At least not right now.
Right.
But yeah, man, this was good. I'm glad we were able to do this, Fletch. One time I'll let you come on and break down your social media ads, but I gave you the plug. Let me run my banner across here.
Y'all hit the button.
What's up? Did you say TP?
Yeah, I hit the Rome. I hit the Clubhouse thing. I was trying to shut it off and it came on.
Yeah. We'll have to.
I think this is cool, Broderick, man. Again, congrats on the show. Fletcher, man, you're natural at this. And
all right, TP.
We gotta get Teddy. I gotta get you.
You gotta have your brother Stanley on here. Let me just, in closing, how would you categorize Roy when you say he's talented?
I think Roy's got a lot of talent.
He's probably at least more talented, right?
Yeah, I think that Roy's personality,
in terms of natural.
Yeah. Roy's personality is like, I can hear you. Roy's got a lot of talent.
Yeah, I think Roy's the beast when it comes to relationships, and I think Roy would be huge on the internet, but Roy's so anti-internet.
But let's talk about it law.
Oh, okay.
If Roy really had wanted to be a trial attorney, man, y'all know this is y'all's lane. But from outside looking in, he's uber witty. He has uber charisma, right?
He's
if
likable.
You just say try the case, none of the litigation stuff that you would teach me, Broderick, but just try the case.
The thing is, with Roy is he's been representing employers and companies for so long. I don't know if he could really get in the trenches and really defend someone or really represent someone who's not from that background. Seriously,
Bro, you gotta get Roy on the show now.
Wait. I think that might. I don't know if that's Fletcher, but I think that he'd be good at trial on the defense side because,
you think he's already now kind of
jaded.
Wait, hold on.
Wired a certain way that you don't think he could. You don't think he?
No, I think that he can go to trial on the defense side if he would be as effective. His personality, like our family members have met Roy, and they'll be like, "Oh, how's your friend Roy?" They don't remember nobody else's name. They don't remember Eddie's name. They don't remember your name from Thanksgiving. Like they might have met him one time in 2003. Be like, "Oh man, how's your friend Roy?"
I can't hear Broderick.
Oh, you can't hear me? Patrick, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you both.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't hear Broderick for some reason.
Oh, okay. But the people love Roy, so I think that Roy would come across good from anything. I think that if he if he represented plaintiffs, he has a personality that he would be able to sell. Like if he was like, call Big Roy on TV, that shit would sell.
I think we lost TP. I think that would sell to a certain degree. I just don't know if at Roy's core he can really. I don't know if at Roy's core he's really a plaintiff attorney. You know what I mean?
He does defense, but what I'm saying though, Fletcher, is that if you're at trial, he could be an effective defense attorney at trial because he's ultimately really likable. At Roy's core, as a person, he's really likable, and so generally speaking, when you're at trial,
he's got some mouthpiece. I just
right. Generally speaking, if you're at trial, all things being equal, the jury's going to gravitate to the lawyer and the client they like more. And Roy's clients are essentially faceless because they're corporations. So it's like, in my opinion, I think
Roy's got strong mouthpiece, definitely presence in the room with clients. I just don't know though. Here's the thing. I just don't give out championships like that. I gotta see him. I gotta see him.
You know who's gonna say this?
I gotta see him. I don't know where it was. I'm just gonna give it to you. Y'all, I gotta see him in the trenches. I'm not gonna sit here like, oh, Roy can just be a, multi-million-dollar trial attorney because he can, come in here and come out to the family cookout and Thanksgiving dinner and everyone loved him, so he can make millions. No, I gotta see him in the trenches.
Dude,
I gotta see him in the trenches, man. And I told this to Roy before. I gotta see him in the trenches. I don't know. But I think he's definitely employer company based attorney where you're gonna sit down with him. He gives great advice in the I think he has that brand. I always refer him out to different people who are like looking for someone, on the employer side. But I'm not gonna sit over here and say, oh, he could be the best trial lawyer of all time. Broderick over here, oh, he could be the best trial lawyer of all time because my cousin's mom, remembered his name. And no, man, you gotta earn this.
But hold on, Fletch.
But you ain't never been to a trial. What are you talking about? But you ain't never been to a jury trial. What are you talking about?
I've never been to a jury trial.
You ain't never done a jury trial.
Okay, you're right.
Hey,
you're right.
You're right. Come on, man.
You're right. But B, give the context. Workers' comp is in front of a judge.
Right. But
most of my employment stuff is in front of arbitrators. Tell the whole story, B. Tell the whole story.
Right. But all I'm simply saying though is that I think that if you ask me, most people are going to say that it's their passion. That's what we all did. But, on the outside looking in, you may say that someone's really talented. I think that obviously Roy's clearly talented. And I think that his appeal in front of a jury it wouldn't matter what side he's on. No trolling. I know that you're kind of trolling, Fletcher, but I don't think it matters.
I think that Roy's Roy's going to do well in different aspects of life, et cetera, et cetera. This is no knock on Roy. I'm just saying, have I ever seen him?
That's a knock on him.
This isn't a knock. This isn't even a knock. I'm just saying, I'm not going to sit up here and act like, who knows?
Well, the thing is, it's hard to evaluate someone else's work, the actual work and what they do from the outside in. But it's easier to say yeah, man, Teddy's really talented at the IP stuff. Fletcher's really talented at, his marketing, whatever. But
his marketing or whatever.
So, but yeah, but because I can't think of anyone. Because I would be like, man, Ram's really talented. And
you're gonna see everybody. So basically, here's the thing: if Broderick, because we're on the internet here, so now everyone's talented now. Look, let me say this right now. Everybody's talented now. You don't go on the whole list. Everybody's talented now. Look, man, let me say this. Let me say this. I'm not gonna act like the 30th employee at Facebook because they're a multi-millionaire because of Mark Zuckerberg has all this talent. No, man. No. I'm not gonna. I'm just not. And I think there's a lot of lawyers who go to different firms and they're able to kind of ride a wave, ride a Mark Zuckerberg to super lawyer to this to that, all these awards, get all this money, and we're gonna sit back and say that they're talented. No, man. No.
Fletcher, what is your theory? Wait. What is your theory on? Explain your theory to the YouTube viewers on journeyman in terms of lawyers.
Okay. journeyman. Let me say this before I make that point. Remind me to come back to journeyman. Let me just make this point. I'm an attorney that you basically handed a top 10 law degree, put him in an industry where his clients don't even know what that is. So you basically took away my greatest strength coming in. You basically took away my pedigree, and I had to build.
Respect.
Now, what was your question? Journeyman.
Yeah.
The thing is this. The advice that I tell young attorneys in general is, especially if you're Black, or just any attorney, be careful when you start at different firms and you start hopping around, because it's real easy to become a journeyman where you don't really have a brand. You've kind of hopped around from firm to firm. You don't really have a home. You're kind of hopping around, and the biggest thing that you want to do is pay off your loans. You got to eventually sit down and just build.
B-Rock, I'm curious, what do you think about Fletcher's perspective on that? I'm curious to know.
I think that people leave jobs for a variety of reasons. I don't disagree with what Fletcher's saying, but the thing is that if you're not going to start your own practice and you haven't made partner at a firm or an equity partner, whatever, you may have to bounce around to get raises. You may have to bounce around to get out of toxic environment. You may have to bounce around if you want to move locations. Like, I don't want to live in LA anymore. I want to move back to the Bay. Then you have to switch firms. I don't like.
But do you see something wrong with that, Broderick?
Not necessarily. I think that if you have a wide range of practice area, I think that it's better if you have a wider range of practice areas, so you have a more broad skill set than if you're moving around in the same firms, join the same industry, because then the question is why do you keep bouncing around? If you go from doing employment to doing criminal to doing insurance defense, PI or family law, then you may be someone that may be fit at a firm that does a little bit of everything because your experience is that. I don't necessarily think that I would recommend it, because I think the problem is that Fletcher's theory, that Fletcher didn't say this in his theory, but the problem is that when you're 15, 20 years in, and it's too late for you practically to start your own firm, or much harder for you to start your own firm because you've been used to a paycheck every 2 weeks, and you only got another 10 years left in your career.
As a lawyer?
Well, I mean, let's say that someone started at 30. So if you're 20 years in, I mean, not a lot of attorneys work past 65.
I feel you.
Not solos.
Let me just say, I feel y'all, but at the same time, it's very apparent from this, Fletcher, you have a personality, you're pre-wired, that you could actually do it and run your own shop, right? I don't necessarily know if everyone can do that, B. I don't know, because you're asking someone to almost change who they are to some degree, right? Am I overthinking it?
No, you're not overthinking it. But I guess my point is that the downside about being a journeyman is that as you age, you're going to want a higher salary because you have years of experience. But if you're not if you're always in the associate role, why would I pay someone more who has 25 years when I could pay someone less who only has 10? and is basically going to be younger and way more apt to put in longer hours. You see what I'm saying? So like that's where like when you.
Oh, go ahead, B.
I mean, Fletcher, you can. I mean, this is your theory.
I'm going to say this too. I've gone and I've actually put out ads to hire attorneys, and I've seen a lot of older attorneys coming in. A lot of these, and and this is kind of like an open secret in the legal community. A lot of these attorneys have substance abuse issues. I mean, one time I hired one. Well, I'm not going to. The point is, well, the point is, there's a lot of substance abuse issues, and and let me say this too, because I will say this. A lot of these attorneys that can hop around from firm to firm too. I haven't really had great experiences with them dealing with my clients, and not necessarily in a bad way in terms of the law, but just in terms of soft skills. And I think, and again, that's just me. And to a certain degree, as an operator, I mean, that's something that I have to kind of handle, that I have to like take responsibility for, because ultimately, when you're growing a firm, you can't do everything. But my caution for just young attorneys is, stop chasing something that doesn't exist. And I think a lot of these attorneys go from this firm to this firm, and I don't have this at this firm. Let me go to this firm, and then now I don't have this, so let me go to this firm. It's like whatever you're chasing doesn't exist. Whatever you're chasing is really yourself. So sit down and build.
Man, Fletcher be coming with some hard boy. That boy be coming with some Old Testament type of boy. Yeah, but I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna have to concede, and I think we're talking about private attorneys, right? That's what we're talking about, right?
Right.
Definitely.
I'm gonna kind of have to concede to the point, because the reality, I think, Broderick, as you said, if you're not one of the few that make partner or equity partner, and I've seen a situation where an equity partner got pushed out the firm, and she really didn't have her own clientele really to really fall back on, and she just ended up she made her own, I don't know what, it was something that wasn't even legal law related. And so I think what I'm hearing is that if you don't have any type of your own clientele as a private attorney, then you're very vulnerable. It don't really matter how many firms you worked at. And is that what I'm hearing? Implicitly what y'all saying?
I mean, kind of, especially on the defense side, doing insurance, like workers' comp or plaintiffs' attorneys work, where like your client are these institutional clients and are a lot less likely to hire solos. So it's like, even if you're out on your own, you're kind of stuck. And then to build a plaintiff's firm from the ground up, if you're not buying someone else's old firm, takes years. So if you're 50 years old, 25 years in the game, it may take you another 10 years to get that shit built up to where you're making consistent money, not just like a year here and there, where you're making consistent money, like you were when you were working on the other side.
And not only are you talking about the clientele side, are you saying basically even aside in terms of developing the skill of running a practice? Is that part of what you guys are saying as well?
Right. I mean that's a given, and that's like that's a lot easier said than done. I think that a lot of solo practitioners fell at that part, not the lawyer part.
And I'll say this too. I think that the internet has a culture of anyone can be an entrepreneur. Anyone can kind of, and this does take talent. You know what I mean? Like you can't, like, I don't think that my wife could run this kind of firm. Let me just say it. It's a birthday today, so
I'll cut this out.
She could definitely, she definitely has her skill set. She definitely, but you know, the stuff that she be telling me, you know, you need to handle your clients like this and and I'm like, nah, that's not how this
work
works.
that way. It don't work that
It
way.
don't work like that. It don't work like that. You know what I mean? And so it's just, I mean, I talked to this one attorney, man, one time. He's a defense attorney now, but for a second he had his own plaintiff firm, and he was telling me how he ended up getting into a fist fight with a client in the parking lot. And I remember thinking, before he told me that, I was thinking like, man, this dude used to represent applicants. I just don't see it because, you know, like, I don't know, man. I mean, I've look, man. At certain county jails, I have already prepaid money on my account for when they call me from jail collect. Because that happens, man. I got to talk to my client, blah, 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 blah. You know, now we don't talk about, you know, it's like recorded conversation. We don't talk about the case. We don't talk about anything like that. But my thing is, I think that you got to be willing to, you know, just get down into the trenches, man, and really kind of like know your clients and really live with it, live with the injuries. And, you know, there was this book I was reading where this plaintiff's attorney was basically talking about how, you know, he'll go and he'll like sleep on his client's couch and get up with them in the morning and see
the Nick Rowley book, Rowley book.
Exactly. Now I don't do that, but my point is, I still live with them. You know what I mean? I want to know. You know what I mean? Like, which model do you like? Do you like this model, that model? Like, I want to know. Get on into the trenches, like you know, like let's connect.
But Fletch, not to deviate from the point you said several minutes ago is that all this hopping, at the end of the day, you hop, but you can't forgo the building part, because even myself, like, things have gone up, going down, whatever. But I can imagine if I didn't have my own clientele to fall back on, I would have been up creek for real, you know?
Yeah.
And that didn't really come. I don't know if I could have done that if I didn't really start it in the 30s, right? I don't know if I could have done it. You know?
No,
I talked to an older guy in-house. He said, I don't know what I would do if I would lose my job. Patent guy, I don't know what I would do.
TP, I'll say this, man. I mean, as long as I knock on wood. I mean, I don't think that there's anything that can necessarily stop me. You know what I mean? Yeah, do I have good years, bad years, whatever? Yeah. But I've got such a loyal client base in terms of past clients, people I know, people who've supported the firm, my employees. I don't think that I can really be like they can't kill me off, man.
Hey, bro,
they can't kill me off, TP. And let me say this: at a certain point when I was building, people predicted my death.
Oh, God.
And I'm talking about not necessarily me, but the death. You know what I'm saying? Here, and
you mean in terms of momentum? What do you mean by?
They just didn't believe that it could happen. They just said, "Nah, man, you gotta wait. You gotta buy. You know, you gotta take out a loan from a bank and buy someone's practice and this and this." And I was just like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna just take my hands, put it into the dirt, get some of that soil, and just build it."
Bars. You got to
know what I mean? And sometimes that means taking some bad cases.
But Fletch, I feel you. I feel the confidence, but the reality, my brother, all of your skin folk prior to us that had to go in that same mud and get that. No disrespect.
No, true. I'm just more or less using that to just kind of, you know, make the point that I'm not afraid to go back, man.
I feel that.
Because sometimes people think, you know, oh man, but I'm never too good, like I said, to get on the phone with the client at 10 o'clock on a Friday, man. Case settled, TP. The case already settled. She's waiting on. She's complaining that her check hasn't came yet.
Hey,
We're just talking.
Brother, hey, your
We're
brother,
just talking,
man.
TP. I'm not afraid to do that. 2021.
Hey, man,
First Sunday 2012. TP. I'm not afraid to do it. Come on, let's chop it up. Let's talk.
Hey, man.
So I mean, it is what it. Man, let me tell you this. I remember one time. Never mind. I'm not gonna. But sometimes, Broderick's like, man, this guy's talking too much. The point is, TP is I'm not afraid to just get down to the basics, man. You know what I mean? Attorneys in my area don't like talking to the clients. Oh, I only talk to the assistant, blah, blah. I make it a point to get on the phone with my clients, man, and just get to know them. Here's my personal cell. If you can't reach the office or look, each one of my clients usually has my office number. We have a special text line, and they got my cell. And usually too, they'll have like a hearing rep cell too. So usually they got 3-4 numbers to call. And sometimes they'll send the same text to different people, and sometimes based on whatever's going on, they may get 2 responses. But my thing is, I want to know the good, the bad, the ugly. And that's not always work. I mean, Stephanie, they're like driving. I mean, that drives my wife crazy because she's like, have them call the office, and I'm like, nah, call my cell. I want to know. Get on WhatsApp. I want to know.
I mean, Fletcher, I can't deny, man, you spit a lot of Old Testament, and a lot of it is, some of it is jarring, but I can't really dispute them what you're saying, man. I mean, some of it's like, I think it's like the education stuff to Broderick's like, we been pre-programmed a certain way. But the bit about private attorneys, man, especially our people, I hate to say it like that, I must concede. I think y'all are right. I think y'all are right. It ain't really no substitute for the building part. And
right. See, this is what I'll say. If you're really talented and you have real skills that are valued in the market, you'll be all right. But most people are in the middle. Most people are in the middle, so it's like
facts.
And don't know it.
And whether you want to, I would agree.
Whether you want to admit it or not. I mean, I'm in the middle. So like if I was working at a firm, like I don't have unremarkable results either for the good or for the bad. Right. And so if you have bad results, you're not gonna be there long. But if you have if you're really talented, like I'm gonna refer to another one of the homies as being talented. If you're talented like an Eddie and you get pulled from a big firm, from a medium-sized firm, and you make partner at that big firm, and you're trying cases solo now and leading trial teams, like you have talent. So even if you become a partner at another firm, like you've displayed some level of talent. I had like one of our classmates from first year, I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but she worked at a firm, she was a partner, and I had another case with that firm, and I was like, oh, how is so-and-so? They're like, oh, she left, and I went on LinkedIn, and she became a partner at another firm, but she must be bringing something tangible that makes her attractive to another employer as a partner, not just, associate. So, but what I'm talking about is the people that are the associates in your Broderick Brown, and you're not a partner at any place. You may want to stay and put your head down and get your skills up so that you can make your.
It's a catch-22 because I do think they're great. In general, I think they're the best training ground, honestly, working under other seasoned attorneys. But the problem is you don't get an opportunity. It's sometimes, sometimes you can get complacent because I work with an attorney who worked at a big firm, and I was amazed that she could not fish. She could not go out there and get a client because she never had to.
Right.
Man, one time I had a case against. I had a one time I had a case, and there was 3 attorneys on the file, and we ended up settling it, whatever. But the whole time, I think I was making them upset because I was talking to them on the phone, and I would always confuse. I always thought I was talking to one person, but it was really 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of what I think a lot of times you kind of get to these firms and you just kind of become a number. Now, if you really develop some real skills, but my thing is the real skills is really just in the EQ, talking to a jury, the stuff that you can't teach. But don't tell me that knowing the civil rules of civil procedure is talent. I don't, I think it's really in the analysis. Then it's really in the analysis. It's really in the analysis. But if you're just gonna spit back some rules, okay.
Hold up.
Google's here. Google is here.
Yeah, but Google ain't gonna take you everywhere.
True.
Now,
right. Go ahead.
This is what I would say. It's levels to this, right? And what I've seen, again, y'all would know more of this than me. But what I've seen from, I have to be careful because this is live. But what I've seen sometimes as people of my skin folk, they rely too much on that natural charisma, right?
Oh man.
Thank God. I think he was going to say that people rely too much on the natural charisma. They think they can talk their way.
And not the actual hard skills.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, everything we do is based on some rule. Like, now you may not need to know it off the top of your head and know the code section, but you got to know that you got to know about it so you can address it, Like, me on workers' comp, and I was like, people ask me workers' comp questions, and sometimes I can give like real general, super general stuff, but like I don't know like any of the ins and outs because
no, I mean I definitely couldn't hop into any area of law and just get in and go. I'm just saying though that we're really talking about the deep water, and what I'm trying to say is everything that someone says is the deep water ain't the deep water.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's not. I mean, And again, I'm not downplaying skills and all that. I'm just saying that there's it kind of goes both ways.
Yeah, man. Let's. We're getting to end the show. I want to make sure whenever I put this live up, I'll put all your guys' socials. I don't know if Teddy's IG is social.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Teddy's book whenever he drops it. Man, he's been grinding on that for a minute.
TP, finish your thought.
My bad, fellas. I'm an old man with technology, dog. So, what I've seen, Fletcher, is sometimes my people, that's not all of them, they rely too much on that natural or that talent that's created based on our community customs. And you like an N1 basketball player, and when you get to the league, you ain't got a jump shot, huh? And guess what? All that N1, it ain't working when you play against the champs, right? Because LeBron gonna look at you and say, guess what? You don't know how to hoop. And you ain't gonna swag your way on them cases that mean something. Now you can do your little dance around them little other joints, but you ain't gonna swag your way when the lights are real bright.
Now, let me give you a little counter example. Okay. Whenever I was growing up, there was a point when my little brother got really into tennis. tennis lessons. My dad was taking him tennis. I mean, he was out there playing tennis. I want to say a couple of years. Maybe I was like, maybe for a good year and a half, 2 years. Tennis, hyping him up. He's going to be a tennis this and tennis that. Tennis this, tennis that. I remember I went out there about a year, 2 years in. You know what I mean? Just, whatever. Fresh off the hoop court, whatever. Give me this racket. Let me go over here and test it. TP. I tested it at a court in Pleasanton.
And you tapped him out.
Beat the brakes off my little brother in tennis.
Off your little brother who had been playing a year.
A year or two, something like that. But they had been hyping him up. Lessons, this, that.
But Fletch, what would have happened if you would have played someone on the varsity tennis squad? What would have happened? You get my point? Who would have got dusted? That's what I'm talking about. These little bitty kids, and what I worry about my people, because I like the scholarship part of law, because I just want to understand it. Right? That's me. And I look for I've tried to talk to different cats, not y'all, but other cats. Right. Well, maybe y'all too. But I've tried to talk to people like, because about let's read some of these opinions. Because one year I read like 1,000. Clearly at December, starting January, I ain't gonna lie, it's like 900 something. And in December I finished, and Khalil looked at me and said, I didn't think you were gonna do that. You definitely get the Nerd of the Year award, and walked out the room, right? Fronting on me. But Fletcher, where are the African American legal scholars? When the big cases come, when they do come, you ain't gonna swag your way when the lights, when it's real bright. Then you can swag your way on these little cases that ain't nobody gonna ever hear about. But that's a concern. I think that we gotta add some scholarship in the game, just like back in the 90s. These boys, man, they want no jumpers and J's and shooting them threes like that. I mean, come on, they want shooting like that. But today, if you're in the NBA, you can't shoot no jumper. You ain't gonna be no starter. Now there's no guard. You ain't. If you can't shoot that jumper,
that's real.
You ain't gonna. You ain't winning nothing.
But let me say this though, TP. There's a difference between scholar and I want Project to hear this. There's a difference between scholarship and these big firms that are just built for the big cases. Let me break that down.
Okay.
The scholarship, the academics, I get that. The professors, the people who are really, really getting into the nuts and the bolts with the law, and they're really bringing new analysis to the game. That's different than the big firms pushing the big cases, where the big firms are built for the big cases. So, for example, I worked real quick. I worked one summer at a big planning firm. They have forms for everything, and there was journeymen working there everywhere. But they were basically just cogs in the wheel, and the partners had built like a whole machine, and they could handle those big cases. But they weren't inventing any kind of way. They knew all the judges. They had all of the, they knew all of the defense firms. They got all of the big cases. They made big money, but it wasn't like they were taking in a brand new case and creating the whole wheel. No, I mean, this is what this particular firm did, and that firm did it well. I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying that they had just years and years of just forms, and so what I'm trying to say is there's a difference between the people who are pushing certain areas of law forward in terms of legal analysis and the people who are actually working on the big cases, and maybe they're closing the deal with the jury, but they have a whole machine there.
Okay, but let me take it a step back. Maybe I should say legal scholarship. Let's say mastering an area of law. Are you suggesting that you can be, and maybe you are suggesting this, but are you suggesting that you can be a top flight attorney without having mastery in the legal area that you practice in?
No. I'm saying that there's a difference between mastering an area of law and building a machine that's a law firm in terms of training the paralegals, the legal secretaries, the this, where you have a whole machine behind you based on that area of law.
Right.
That's different than mastering the area of law to where, you're breaking down, you're doing like legal treatises, those are two separate skill sets. You know what I mean?
I would agree.
My biggest knock on Broderick is there's a lot of cogs in the wheels at these big firms. And because they're making money, Broderick's like, oh, that's talent. And I'm like, that's talent?
No.
That's talent? And again, I'm not knocking them.
Fletcher, I never said that.
But the 25th employee at Facebook, you can't tell me that that's the 25th best engineer in the world.
I agree with you, Fletcher, in terms of, but I think that's the difference between making money and being a respected, really good attorney. Because you're right. If you're good in business, if you have great systems, you can make a lot of money. But are you going to get respect within the guild if you don't really have a mastery of the law?
Right. You're not.
Because.
But now we're getting back
into
the age-old hip-hop question of, can you be the greatest rapper of all time when you're chasing commercial success and you don't die or don't get shot or killed or et cetera, et cetera. Now we're kind of getting into the, who's authentic and who's not. And, and my thing is this, anytime someone, well, I'll say this. That's just the whole age-old question. Man, man, I mean,
what is your take on that age-old question?
I say this, one of my greatest accomplishments as an attorney was when one of my hearing reps won a trial. I almost cried, man. I mean, I was sitting second chair. I was, but he was basically the one and blah, blah, and he won it. And I was just like, damn, man, I was like proud. Mm-hmm. Does that make me a legal scholar? Does that make me, no. Now,
let's not say legal scholar. Let's say mastery of the.
Patrick, let me ask you this question. Have you ever thought about getting your specialization in workers' comp?
I thought about it. Honestly, though, I need in terms of like priority, I would prioritize learning Spanish over that.
Okay, Fletcher, let me ask you a question, Fletcher. Fletcher, let me ask you a question.
I went to one of the best law schools in the country.
But we're not questioning your
I don't need more pedigree.
We're not questioning your pedigree. But Fletcher, let me ask you a question. This question is for you and for brother B-Rock as well. If you had to choose one, would you rather get the money in terms of getting the money out of the law game, or would you rather be respected based upon your skill and mastery of the law? In other words, you may not have made all the money, but everybody knows that in that domain, you get busy. If you had to choose one, which one would it be for you?
TP, respect by the street or respect?
Nah, bro, come on, man. Come on, let's not get the lawyer game.
Or respect in the industry?
Amongst your peers.
Respect in the industry or respect on the street?
In the industry, your peers. Listen, your pen game. You want to talk to your pen. Dude, as a rap, if you're a rapper, do you want to get the respect of Nas?
Do you want to be the lawyer's lawyer?
Jesus, or do you want the cash? Do you want to be Laffy Taffy D4L? They probably went 2-3 times platinum. TP. So I'm asking, if you only could choose one, I'm asking you.
I want the straight TP. I want you said A or B. I want C. No.
It's only two. You can get the money, or you can get the respect amongst your peers.
La gente, huh? La gente.
What does that mean?
The people.
Oh, my bad.
La gente.
On the West Coast.
Here's the thing is-
The
No.
people.
You can get the money,
Here's
or you can get You can
Fletcher,
get the
just
money,
answer the hypothetical.
or the respect from
the
your
money.
peers. As
The money.
thi-
The money.
he's
The money.
nice.
The money. The money.
Oh.
The money.
Hey, this
The
is
money.
funny.
TP. But TP, here's the thing though. TP. I started this when I was 28, man. When I came into the game, I was like that young lion that started to kind of grow a little fur here, whatever. Where I couldn't go back home to mommy. But all the big lions were attacking me because they didn't want me to grow.
Okay, well, hold on.
And now it's starting to grow into a man.
But hold on, you answer. Okay, Broderick, I'm curious to know how you answer that question.
That's interesting.
It's only you only get two, one or two. You got to choose A or B.
So early on in my career,
We talk about now.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna give you a backstory.
Okay.
At some point in my career, I just was like, I don't need the industry's love. I just need to become a legend at the bank. And so when I come into the bank, they call me Mr. Brown. And so I would rather want the money because at the end of the day, like I see who makes these super lawyer lists, and I'm like, they're not nicer than me. And that's like no disrespect to the people that are making these lists. And it's like they're not nicer than me. Like I see some of my opposition, like I kill these people all the time. But at the end of the day, like that's all political. Like whether you're respected is all political, and I'll give you the perfect
Is it political?
Yeah, and I'll give you the perfect example. When you talk to other attorneys, particularly other Black attorneys, they always try to throw shade on John Burris. Oh, he's really not that good though. I mean, shit like that, right? Fletcher, you've heard that shit, right?
I've heard that from judges. Go ahead.
My man John Burris, who I've never met in person, but my man John Burris has a 8-figure verdict in federal court where you have to have 12 unanimous jurors, and the rules are just a lot stricter. So people are going to hate no matter what. And other attorneys, and like I've had non-Black attorneys, they really go in, oh, he's just the guy on TV. Like he's overhyped. He gets a lot of the media, but they don't really work the files. Just all that type of hate. So I'm like, give me the money. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I don't need to be loved. I don't need to be respected. I don't need to be loved. I just need to be paid.
I gave the honest answer. Man. Well,
every parent wants the kids to win. Why? For the respect of the parents? No, it's about the money.
Yeah, I mean that's like at the end of the day, that's all we really kind of have is. Like,
I mean, I'm here for the money, but let me say this though. I think it is about, to me, it's about legacy. But my legacy isn't really. I mean, I just didn't come in the game. Like I said, TP. When I came in the game, man, I was attacked by the industry, man.
Wait. Hold on. Let me tell this quick story. This quick anecdote.
Yeah.
So I think that Fletcher is right. Like ideally, for me, my perfect scenario is a little bit of money and love in the street. And I'll give you the example, right? So one of my cousins calls me and is like, her mom died and she's like, oh, I need some legal advice. So I like talked to her about like what she could do in terms of like getting her mom's property, that type of stuff. It wasn't even like a house, but it was like belongings. It wasn't real property, but it was belongings. And so I talked to her probably like, let's say 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. Later on in the day, my mom calls me and is like, cousin X is talking crazy. Like my attorney says this, and that. And I was like thinking to my mom and myself, she's talking about me because I was the one that talked to her, whatever, right? And so sometimes when I run into my clients and like, oh, this is my attorney, I won't call my attorney on you and that type of stuff. And then like I go do that and then we punk, or, I like not punk them, but we get the landlord to back off, whatever. Or like I had one client where she had like someone that worked at a paralegal, one of her friends, quote unquote, worked at this paralegal position, and she was like, "Oh, your landlord's harassing you. You ain't gonna get no money for that. You ain't gonna get no money." And I got her 6 figures. So it's like she loves me. Like she actually had. I talked to her today, and she was talking about something she did, and she's like, this is thanks to my landlord, and really, that's thanks to us, So that type of love. Now, I need the money too. Don't get it twisted. But if I'm walking down the street on Broadway in downtown Oakland in 10 years, and people are like, "Go get him, Broderick," shit is priceless.
I think, but we're saying you're kind of contradicting yourself because
because I'm not talking about love from the industry. I'm talking about love from the actual my client.
But see, I didn't say love. I said respect.
Respect. Same thing.
No, respect is based upon your skills.
Right, but people are only gonna love you if you give good results.
Well, here's the thing right here. I said we already established that you can have a great system, and you can and you can get money, right? But I can't really say if you have respect, you can't get money either. But if you had to choose, here's the problem that I'm going to say so controversial. Most of my African American lawyer peers would answer the way y'all just answered. And it's going to come a time like now when you start having critical legal issues that affect, Black America or whoever, right? The problem is we ain't going to have the people, we're not going to have the lawyers who have the skills to tackle these complex problems because everybody been chasing the bag. So when y'all talk about, hold on, brother, when y'all talk about reparations, or not you, but when people talk about reparations, whether you think we should get it or not, or whether you think we are owed it or not, it don't matter. It don't really matter, because if you don't have a critical mass of Black attorneys who have depth of understanding in the law, we ain't getting nothing.
Yeah, but TP, we ain't gonna get.
But TP,
we're only gonna get reparations by playing.
No. But it's not about reparations. I'm telling you, when you have these complex legal issues, but if you just have, let's get the bag Black attorneys out here, when you have these complex issues and the race is depending on you, on us, we ain't got the skills to do it.
Let me just add some value here.
Come on,
for the audience. Let me add some value here for the audience. If you're watching this video, and you have a legal issue, 99% chance that your legal issue ain't the issues that he's talking about. Because here's the thing, TP. There's a lot of people out here who think that they have some unique situation.
I agree.
And a lot of times, TP, 99% of the time, they don't. And let me say this too for the audience. Most people with legal issues get into deep trouble in their legal issues because they don't hire an attorney. Not because their legal issue is so complex their attorney can't handle it.
But
TP, let's keep it a buck, TP.
But Fletch, again, you're doing a good job. You go into a different issue. I'm not saying that the average client has a complex issue that requires that from Black attorneys. All I'm saying is when you have complex issues, dealing with systematic issues that plague Black people and other things, do we have a critical mass of attorneys that have developed the skills to be able to tackle those problems? And the problem I'm seeing is most of my brothers and sisters, attorneys, they get the bag attorneys.
Right, but Teddy, but hold on a second, let me handle this. The issue though is that the industry's not gonna love you, man.
But Broderick, why can't I find
White Daddy's not gonna give you no hug?
But okay, hold on, Broderick. I respectfully disagree, because if we want to go back to me, the most esteemed African American lawyer in U.S. history in modern times, it's probably going to be Johnny Cochran. Johnny Cochran had a mastery of criminal law. He was a prosecutor. And if you look at his documentaries, you just think he was a swag attorney. Nah, Johnny had a mastery of the law. And all I'm saying, Broderick, is I should not have to. Why can't I find one single African American attorney who wants to do some nerdy thing like with reading case opinions? Why can't I find one?
But
Broderick, respectfully, if I were to ask the average African American attorney, hey man, read some cases with me. Why are they looking at me, man, like I'm a ghost? And come on, man, I'm about as black as you can be. Why are they looking at me like I'm a ghost, man?
TP, I got a box of opinions downstairs that I was already kind of churning through. Now, if you want me to go pull out that receipt, I can.
Hold on.
No. But I'm just saying, why can't now? And I'm not doubting that,
Right.
but what I'm saying is, I'm not hearing in 2020, because you can tell me back in 1960, 1950, the few African-American attorneys they had to be committed to scholarship, because none of them black attorneys back in them days had the opportunity to be get the bag attorneys. Because
wait.
You could have been
when you say get the bag attorneys, are you talking about attorneys that are working for these firms, or are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about attorneys who answered the question like y'all did. Who said, I said, would you rather have the respect or the money? Y'all said y'all just want them. Y'all rather have the money.
Teddy,
Broderick said, hold on, Broderick, you said you call me Mr. Brown. I like when they go to debate, they call me Mr. Brown. I'm on Broadway.
TP, I'm judged by the paper, TP. I'm judged by the paper.
Wait, Teddy. Let me say this, TP. Teddy, let me say this. When you came to, I don't do appellate law, so me reading appellate cases,
it doesn't matter.
Well, hold on a second. For the shits and giggles of reading the entire case,
shits and giggles, what you say?
Yes, it's not going to help my practice now. And let me expand a little further. When you came to my office to pick up those rudder guides, I was like, TP, you were like, I want to read through everything. And I'm like, Teddy,
hey man, they trying to call me out.
You can just go through the parts that you need as you go, and you're way more likely to retain it. 1, 2, you'll save the time, and then 3, not everything is necessary because they're going so deep down in the hole that most cases you never get that deep. And so I say that to say, like I'm not reading cases per se, but I'm doing things to sharpen my skills, because my skills, like Floyd says, skills pay the bills, because ultimately like the better arguments I make, the more money it's going to be reflected in better settlements. Now, sometimes like you may be limited by the it may be $100,000 case, you're not getting $1 million cases, but like you still need to know something. Like when you talked to me about the issues, I was like spinning game to you.
These are facts. But bro, I guess let me just say that, not to pick on you and Fletcher, all I'm saying is that I don't know if you have enough African American attorneys. I don't know if you have the critical mass of them who are pursuing legal scholarship to tackle some. Now, yes, as a black attorney, yeah, you have to invest in learning your particular area of law. And I'm not saying that you guys don't do that, right? But I'm just saying, to the degree where you have kind of get to the point of mastery, and again, I don't want to conflate issues. I'm not hearing that from the black attorneys that I associate with. And I'm not talking about just y'all. I'm talking about, I've asked several people this over the last several years, and people are like, no. All I'm hearing is cats. All I'm hearing is black attorneys just want to get the bag.
Right, but the problem with respect, TP, at least for me, is it's finicky. Like you don't really get,
Respect could come. We're talking about respect based on your skill set. That was a qualifier based upon what your skill. In other words, you may not make the most money as an attorney, but they know in that area of law that joker he or she gets busy.
Right. But the thing is that you can be getting busy and be like Rodney Dangerfield and get no respect. Like, I'm not like
Broderick, you ain't getting busy in the legal field and not getting no respect, man. If people know that joker over there in that area, and I'm not talking about a Chemerinsky where you're just a scholar and you're not a practitioner. I'm talking about a practitioner that, guess what? Over there in that dude or that female, that's it. And all I'm saying, again, I don't want to conflate, but Broderick, we should have more Black attorneys who are chiefly concerned with becoming masters of law more than just being able to get that bag. And I'm not picking on y'all in particular. I'm just saying, if I were to characterize Black attorneys in general, private Black attorneys, at least the ones that I'm coming into contact with, I'm not hearing anybody talk about they want to get a deeper understanding of the law. It's like I'm not hearing them, and maybe that means maybe I need to get out and meet more people, but I'm not hearing it. And in 1960, you would have heard that because it was a reason behind that scholarship because they were trying to break down barriers. That's what I'm saying. And in 2021, we got more tools. But I'm not hearing that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I think, I just think my whole thing is when it comes to the legal scholarship point, it's a slippery slope. And I think that, a lot of people kind of I don't want to say throw that around, but and I'm not saying that doesn't have a place, and I'm not knocking legal scholarship, but I think it's like and again, are you talking about legal scholarship or are you talking about practice? Because practice, TP, at the end of the day, in my industry, practice is getting the bag.
Well, I'm still talking about practice, but I'm just saying that.
Because if you're talking about legal scholarship, then that's Brian Windhorse. That's Skip Bayless talking about sports.
No, I'm not
practice.
Like I said, I'm not talking about Chemerinsky. I'm talking about practitioners, but here's the thing now. This is what I'm trying to articulate. It would seem to me that, again, what I'm hearing from most of my, and I know this is public, but what I'm hearing from most of my peers is cats are chiefly concerned with getting the bag. And I'm saying, I'm not so sure that if you were to go back 60 years, most of the Black attorneys would have been chiefly concerned with getting the bag.
Because you know what though? Not Roy. TP.
Let's read this comment.
Yeah. He's saying that he's concerned with chasing the bag. Because Teddy, the bag is proof. Let's just call it what it is. At least in my practice. The bag is proof, TP.
Hold on. What's my man name from the ATL? Gold all in my chain.
Trinidad James.
Is that proof?
What, did he get the bag?
He got the hit. That was a hit.
No, you said bag is proof.
Yeah, the bag is proof.
Where is he now?
Did he get paid?
Where is he now?
But who owns that song? Does he even own the song?
But
if you want to talk about the bag, let's talk about Dre. Dre got the bag. He ain't around. But did he win? My point is this: this is America, man. I mean, Trump just got out the office. Trump just got out the White House.
Okay.
He ain't in the White House if he didn't get the bag.
Okay, hold on. My man works 12 he has a different point. Let me just say that let's take social stuff out of it, right?
Right.
Again, so you don't care to be respected amongst. You're not concerned about being respected amongst your peers. Like, yo, when it comes to this domain, like I had to get in with an attorney today, and he did not want to concede. I gave him this statute. I gave him case law. I gave him 2 examples, and he didn't want to concede. Right? Dog, I could have gave you a dozen examples. Just say you didn't know that, and I learned something new, but he refused to do it. But you're not concerned with having the respect amongst your people
Here's the thing, but though, TP, it's like sometimes, at least for me, I can kind of feel the disrespect. Sometimes people will, from these big firms, will call. Like, I have this one case where they removed it to federal court, and I was trying to file a motion to bring it back to state court. For Shamat's, it was like some jurisdiction issue, diversity. I didn't even remember this shit, quite frankly, because it's been so long since I took CivPro, and I never have federal cases. And so we had this conference call. It was like the associates, there's 2 law firms. So it was like 2 associates and 2 partners, and they're all on the phone, like just hella disrespectful and talking like you needed to concede, don't file this motion, you're wasting everybody's time. And you know what? I told them, I was like, look, I'm going to file the motion. I'm not afraid to lose. I may be wrong. The worst thing that's going to happen is the judge is going to rule against me and my client, and we'll stay in federal court. But I think that I'm right, and I'm going to file the motion, and I'm not going to be talked down. There's nothing for us really to meet and confer on. And then I filed the motion, and I won. And so, but the point is like after that, even in our communication after that, like the respect may come, the respect may not come, but I want to settle that case for really good money for my client, and then I get a share of that. So like, I'm not really concerned. Like one time I had this trial with this dude for this insurance defense firm. Dude was like a jerk to me and my client in the depot. Was just completely off-putting, even though I have cases with that law firm all the time. He was just a dick, basically. And then we go to trial, and he's just doing like some just crazy stuff and just being just difficult and like just disrespectful. And after I busted his butt in my closing argument and like dug in a little bit to him personally for some of the stuff he said about my client in his closing argument, you know, we're like waiting for the jury, and we're in the bathroom, and he like apologized, like, hey man, like I'm sorry for like, because he knew he was kind of like being hella extra, but it was like I'm not looking for a hug, you know what I mean? Like they're either gonna acknowledge me or they don't, but I'm gonna continue to do me and to do the best job that I can do. And whether the acknowledgement comes, guys, Fletcher one time was like a couple months ago, you were like, oh, you need to sign up for super lawyers. You need to sign. Like, I'm not signing up for shit at this point. The shit didn't come when I wanted it to come. Shit happened shit happened to me where I'm having a super lawyer call me about something that's hella basic. And I'm like, and then I find out that they're a super lawyer. I was like, look, and then I hear about like what you need to do, and you nominate each other, and it's like, I don't like that's just not paying my bills, and that was all for my ego. I would rather validate my shit by my client's happiness and by really the money in the bank at the end of the day, and whether the respect, whether the respect in the community comes or it don't. Because even, Teddy, quite frankly, even let's say I continue to smash this year and I'm like really well respected, they're trying to get me press and stuff, like, nah, like I'm not, they're that outside attention is not going to change how I feel at this point. Now, if it came in 2014 or 2013, I would have a big ass head. But at this point, it's like, nah, man, I'm gonna keep my head down, and none of that shit really matters. I'm definitely not chasing it.
Hey, can you ask Schwartz 12 which area of law he practices in?
He's in law school.
Oh, he's law school. Okay. But let me say this. I feel what you guys are saying. I feel that I have to kind of, and I think maybe I feel where you
because Teddy, you can't pay your bills with respect.
Nah,
at the end of the day,
you can't.
And I think though, here's the thing though, TB. One time, what I've kind of found is you can get that respect. I mean, I think respect comes in different forms, and and I'm different than Broderick. I mean, I'll take the outside gratification and the love and the internal. You know what I mean? I kind of treat, if someone is hating on me, I'll take that. If someone gives me some props, I'll take that. I don't really hold, I don't really keep a lot of it anyway. I just kind of, so I'll do the super lawyer this year. I think I got hated on, so now I'm off. Not in 2021. I'm on some like top 40, under 40 lawyer list, something.
Hey, well, congrats. Hey, congrats. Yeah. Let me just say this. No, Fletch, will you finish it?
Wait. Yeah, let me tell a quick super lawyer story.
Okay.
So Fletcher's like, man, I made super lawyer, and I was like happy for you because I'm like,
but that is good.
That's a big deal. And so I go to search the super lawyer, and I'm like looking in like the workers' comp section, and then I'm like the workers' comp for Rising Stars, and I'm like, I don't see this. Like where is he? And then I keep looking again, and then I like went to the appendix. And then I found the page, and they had him under employment. Now Fletcher does employment cases, but like at the core, you're a workers' comp attorney. And I was kind of like,
what happened though? These employment firms forced me into the trenches, and so I had to get in there and just start.
and let me say something too. And part of it, man, is that I worked in a very niche area of law. And I remember reading, like, in Britain, like, if you didn't go to court, if you was you didn't go to trial as a trial attorney, they had a different name for you. Like, you wasn't, like, and I would, look it up. I'm going to find that for y'all.
Yeah, you're right.
They had two different names. If you didn't go,
and I think they still do. It's like barrister is one of them, and then I don't know what the other one is called.
I'm going to find it. But I would have been the other. Because I work in a very niche, and I didn't really, and my perception is different. And this I'll say, the first time I went to court, I think I went to appellate court for something. It was in San Francisco. It was beautiful, man. It was like just the columns, like some Greco. It's like you could have been out of like the Greek culture. Like it was like, wow. I'm like, man, I went in there. It was carpet beautiful. The way I'm like, man, but we in court today. I'm like, and this is like, I did on some pro bono tell. I'm like, man, oh, this is it. Man, just the whole setting. They had 3 judges. I'm about to hear some good legal, some great analysis from the judge. I'm about to hear some, oh my God, I'm about to hear it. Fletch, man, Broderick, man, I was so disappointed by what the hell them judges were asking me, man. This basic, because I like to match wits with you, because I'm a debater. So I'm gonna match, I need to see what I'm working with so I know how to attack your ass. So I'm like, man, I don't know if them judges were what I call it, get the bag attorneys when they were Lord. I'm like, I expected the judges to be at a certain level, right? And like that dude Schwartz said, I just wonder what the end result of lawyers going to be if he, as Schwartz said, I think what I'm understanding of him, it may not even be kind of racial thing. But if every attorney is just trying to get the bag, what is the profession going to be like? Because at least to me, I'm thinking cats supposed to be at certain levels. Like I'm thinking judges. If you're a judge, to me, you're supposed to be a master of law. How you judging? Again, I don't want to deviate, but
the practice of law is the exchange of economic resources. TP.
Plus, you stole that from me.
It's the exchange of economic resources. I mean, you get penalized once. Look, I have this attorney right now trying to come after me because my client took 4 months to she took 4 months to accept a settlement. Now it's more complicated than that, but essentially, basically, y'all didn't get this back fast enough. That's what he's trying to penalize us for. So that's the game. TP is the bag. Sometimes I've had cases where I wanted a certain settlement, they didn't want to give it to me. They forced me to fight this motion. They lost, and I got more money.
Yeah,
so I mean that's the game. The game is the bag.
Yeah,
I mean, Khalila has told me you need to go to law school and be a professor. You know,
right?
Dang, the game is a bag.
But I think though, I can see you having a huge brand on the internet because I think that you got a lot of game and knowledge that people got to, I think that this is your time. You know what I'm saying? The game needs that book. That 300. No one's going to read it. I'm going to buy it. I ain't going to read the whole thing. I may read the first, I may read the intro, but I'm going to promote it up on my thing because I got to be associated with the lawyer that wrote the 800-page book. I ain't going to read it, but I'm going to buy it.
Fletch, Khalila, that's Khalila like, Teddy ain't going to say it.
I'm going to buy it. I'm going to put it right here up on this bookshelf, and I'm going to point to it. And hey, people are going to buy it just on some collector's edition.
No. Oh, no. Oh, for real. I wouldn't even sell it to y'all. It's going to be 3, but the lower level, I am going to actually give to y'all.
No, I'd rather buy it.
No. Because I want you to critique it on the low and say TP. Because I'm planning on doing this for different areas of law, and just say TP. I like this and this, but I don't like that. I don't like that, and I don't like that. So I was gonna ask y'all, but since you said you're gonna buy it, I'm gonna just give it to you for free, and then you would just critique it. But no, don't buy it. I'm gonna actually give you guys a copy. The low.
Give me an autographed copy.
But real talk though, I can't deny the law game from a practitioner standpoint. It is about the bag. Yeah, that's just a fact.
Because I had a lot of clients. Oh, I don't care about the money. I care about this, and I'm thinking this is gonna come back down to the money. You know what I mean? And I've been accused of being "quote unquote" money hungry.
Wait,
in my early days.
All right. We got a question. But I remember that one time I settled a case, and my client was like, "Can I get an apology?" And they were like, "No, we just cut you a check."
That's not even funny, but that's.
All right, Teddy. What's the book about, and when does it come out?
Okay, so Mr. Schwartz, I don't know if that's your real name. The book it's a new type of law book, and so we feel like by little startup, we came up with a new type of law book. We refer to it simply as an argument guide. It's a book of just straight arguments. And so this book is in the area of trademarks. Is basically directed to a specific issue of law. The number one issue in trademarks is likelihood of confusion. And so the book basically is 3 different books, but the first one is 40 arguments. The next one is 110, and the third one is 220. And I'll just tell you this, that most attorneys believe that the arguments they're submitting for legal issues are somewhat, they may think they're unique per se, but if you spent 6 years like I did going through, we did basically 3 case studies, and one thing too we're gonna release. We have a case study that we did experiments within criminal law, in 2 different areas of trademarks. And I'll just say this without being long-winded. In all these different areas of law, you have a finite number of common arguments that come up all the time, right? And I think intuitively attorneys know that, but it does kind of counter what people typically believe, because most folks think that arguments are too specific to your specific case. But when you look at thousands of cases, a few of these are common, and a lot of them are rare. And so what this guide does is it basically compiles all the common arguments, and then and it adds some of those unique arguments as well. So now, instead of an attorney like a solo practitioner who is talk football, who's basically like a DB in cover 0, and ain't no help over the top, right? Is you and the goal post, and as Fletcher and Broderick you better not flinch, because you flinch, what's that quarterback gonna do? He gonna change up the snap cadence on you, and he throwing over there. So you better be confident. As a solo, you like an island on you by yourself. It ain't no help. You can call some of the homies, but ultimately it's your case. You ain't no senior partner nowhere. So this guide is really a resource really for solo attorneys of small firms, and it will give you the information and insights that attorneys get after several decades of practice. And all this is, we have statisticians on the team, data scientists folks on the team, and so this the book is basically Herbert's likelihood of confusion, and merely descriptiveness and all that. So 3 weeks, 4 weeks it'll be out, and hopefully we can replicate it to different areas of law. So
wow,
I can tell it almost put you guys to sleep already. So y'all right. Y'all probably
man.
first chapter.
I'm interested. I mean, like I said, man, I think that's like a hot area, especially now with the internet. And I mean, like I said, man, I'm about to support TP.
I got 2 copies coming to y'all, definitely free of charge. Just say, give me a critique. Fletcher, I'm curious why I got you on here. What's the #1 issue in workers' comp? Legal issue, like trademarks. You file a trademark application, likelihood of confusion. In other words, is a junior mark, will it cause confusion in the marketplace with respect to a senior registered mark, right? Merely descriptiveness, is the mark descriptive of the goods and services identified in the ID, right? Then functionality, can the trademark function as a trademark, right? And patents, novelty, is it novel, is it new, right? What is the most important issue, like legal issue in workers' comp, that you guys deal with all the time? I'm just curious to know.
Man,
you got to dumb it down. It's some issue.
Is there an injury?
Okay.
Is there an injury? Is there an actual legal injury? Is one. Permanent disability. What's the person's permanent disability?
Mm-hmm.
Which as a sub issue in there is, what's their impairment rating?
Mm-hmm.
Is the QME report substantial medical evidence? I mean, we're always arguing over medical reports and whether or not the medical report is quality enough for a judge to rely on it. That's a huge one. The specialty of the QME. You know what I mean? Like, if you get injured, and your QME is an orthopedic surgeon versus a chiropractor, that can have huge implications for your case. You know what I mean?
You guys are submitting briefs, right?
For trial.
For trial.
Yeah.
What issues are typically covered within the briefs that you guys write?
Just those same issues.
The same issues.
And yeah, I mean, I have a case right now. That's up at the workers' comp appellate court where it's a back injury case, and we have to see whether or not the QME report is substantial medical evidence. A lot of different complications in there, but yeah, So I mean, it's
repeat that again. Substantial. What's that?
Substantial medical evidence. So like this, if a doctor issues a report that is like, has like different inconsistent, opinions and that sort of thing. I'm getting ready to appeal a case now where a QME doctor said that my client was injured. At her deposition, she said she wasn't sure. Next report, she said that he wasn't injured. And then at her next step said that, no, you know what, I think that he wasn't injured. So our argument on appeal is she's changed her mind 2 different times. All 4 of those cannot be substantial medical evidence because they're inconsistent.
And there's whole body of case law and stuff to support whether there's some substantial medical evidence.
Whole body of case law.
Got it. Okay. Cool. Okay. And there's there's only like one practice guide that everyone at workers' comp typically gets, right? Or is that
practice guide? Yeah, I mean, there's Rudder. There's I use CEB. I think I might end up getting Rudder here in a second just to kind of broaden my knowledge. But we can definitely rap about that. But remember too, workers' comp is like a sub. We're like our own area of law, so you have to kind of go, delve into those cases too, not just the, appellate cases. So there's the appellate workers' comp cases, and then there's the workers' comp appellate court cases.
So you guys are your own courts, right? Or is it
right? They were on court. Exactly.
All right. Let me ask you one last question. You guys submit everything electronically, right? You can, right?
Yeah.
Now, and do you have access to any other or only your clients' cases? Is it open to the public or not? I would think not, right?
No, it's not.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I've never looked for anyone's case like that in terms of like case documents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never looked for anyone else's case documents.
Right.
I guess but they have like public. Go ahead, TB.
Yeah, I would say something, but I ain't gonna say it. But you submit it electronically, right?
Right.
Okay.
Real quick, there's a question. Do you need medical knowledge? Workers' comp attorney.
Do you need medical knowledge to be a workers' comp attorney? Yeah, I mean, I think that you should have a good working knowledge of anatomy.
Before you went in, did you have that?
No. I've gotten that definitely since being in here, and and my wife's a doctor, so that definitely helped.
I didn't make the connection.
Yeah, it helped early on, man. I mean, she would be real conservative. Let me just say that. I'm not sure if I would like her on any of my cases, but I'm over there looking over my shoulder. But I mean, there's so much about the law. I don't, but.
All right, man. We went 3.5 hours.
Man.
So, Broderick, you gonna chop it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to chop it up into the parts. I'm probably not gonna put the live one right away. I'm gonna try to chop it up into parts to see what I'm gonna put. I might DJ Vlad it.
DJ Vlad.
I'll see, but I might have to put up the whole live. If I do, then if you guys want me to get any parts, then let me know. Then I won't put up the whole live. Then I can just redo it.
I say chop it up because ain't nobody gonna look at it. No one's gonna listen to 3.5 hours. But chop it up, especially a lot of them Old Testament quotables that Fletcher was dropping, man.
Yeah, the internet's gonna love Fletcher. The internet loves all this.
Yeah,
don't go to college. Do internet marketing.
Hey, don't misquote. Hey, give this stuff in context, though. Fletcher,
Thank
you
you.
wasn't saying not go to college. You're just saying that there could be a better way for some people, right?
Exactly, TP.
Good stuff, man.
That's what
Brother,
you
man.
might be like the channel.
You know?
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we gotta respect the audience. We got an audience.
Hey, yeah, you gotta tell us what's up, man. He been listening 3 hours. Tell him we appreciate it, man.
Definitely, man. Salute.
That's it.
And then,
3 hours.
You can, if you got any questions, you can find our emails on our websites and send me it. If you send me an email, my email is info.
Definitely. Isaiah, you want to come over here and say hi? Isaiah is up 3 o'clock in the morning. Isaiah.
Future lawyer.
He's about to get his butt back in bed. I'm about to get in bed.
All right. Peace out, though.
All right,
man. Peace, y'all.
All right, peace. I'm gonna end the broadcast, but then stay on, Fletch.